You know we can't hear you, right? No. There we go. Hold on. Oh,
Can you hear me?
ask again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's through the mic too.
There we go. Anyways, so guys, this is just a preview of what the live is going to sound like as soon as I fully implement the mic. Currently, right now, the mic is plugged directly into my phone. So while the mic is plugged into my phone is not charging. So as soon as my phone gets to a certain percentage, I'm going to have to take off the mic and put in the charger. But this Saturday, I have a mic boom stand and a sort of splitter thing that will allow me to charge my phone and have the mic plugged in at the same time. So today you'll get a taste of what better quality sounds like.
Everyone, tap the screen, share the live, do the things.
Chris says wireless charging. I have an Android phone. Android phones, as far as I know, do not have the capacity for wireless charging. Thank you so much for the heart, Ashland. Huh?
My phone, both my S22 and my S25 have wireless charging.
Well, my phone is old as fuck. This is what happens when you hold on to a phone for years on end and don't upgrade. But is it too loud or am I coming in clear?
No, you're coming in clear.
Good. Now we can do Bible Guy ASMR.
Make sure you don't fart, because then we'll be able to hear it now.
Say
Picks
what?
up a lot. I said just make sure you don't fart, because it'll pick it up for sure. It's very...
Thanks for that.
You're...
Anyways, so everyone make sure to tap that screen. Share the live with those you love, with those you hate, with your friends and with your enemies. Let's get the word out so we can have some interesting conversations and see whether or not anyone can convince me to believe in the Bible. Oh, here's actually a good question. Are you able to hear my vent in the background?
A little bit, but it's not like it used to be.
Thank God, I no longer have to sweat my ass off while doing these lives.
But it was fun watching you be uncomfortable.
What was that?
Oh, sorry, that was my notification.
I was like, okay. Sarah Slick says you should believe in the Bible. You need it to have a moral compass. No, I actually have a better moral compass now as an atheist than I ever did as a Christian. And from what I see on TikTok, a lot of Christians don't have a very good moral compass. Rico Luna says a lot of evidence for the reliability of the text. I don't see that reliability. The Bible has proven time and time again to be very unreliable. I am at a low point in my life, but I don't doubt God. Go to therapy.
That was so demanding.
Hey, everyone should go to therapy if they can afford it.
I mean, that is true.
What is your stance and thoughts on 2 Kings 22? That's a good question. What exactly isn't 2 Kings 22? Let's see. What specifically about 2 Kings 22 are you interested in? About the law? Oh, is this about Josiah finding the scroll of the law of Moses? Yeah, I mean, it's quite obvious that this is the reason why a lot of scholars believe that we don't really have like the Torah as we understand it today prior to the time of Josiah. He discovered it in the ruins of the temple, And this is about the time in history where Israel moves from more polytheism into monolatry, which is the idea that there are many gods, but we only worship one. And that was under the rule of Josiah. He was sort of like the Akhenaten of Israel. Divine Daily, I guarantee you I know the Bible better than you. And this isn't about disproving God. This is about disproving the Bible. I mean, not even really about disproving the Bible. The Bible does that for itself. I barely have to lift a finger. Matt says, do you believe that Jesus actually existed? That is my current position until I see good evidence to prove otherwise. What about mind-boggling? What's mind-boggling? Parker says, that mic, though. I know, thank you. Thank you, Parker. So you don't find the scriptures true? I don't. We see lots of historical and scientific errors in the Bible and a lot of internal contradictions, which is why I do not find the Bible to be all that reliable. One Power, thank you for the heart. Where are all the Christians at? There are at least 34 people in here. Surely some of you are Christians and you would like to come up and have a discussion with me. I promise I don't bite.
Hard.
Chris says this mic sounds way better than Justin's. The irony of that being that this mic was given to me by Justin. So everyone, you can thank Justin for the quality change in the mic. Edgar, I have 3 questions for you. The same 3 questions I ask all my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yes. Wait, can you hear me?
Yes. Are you at least 18?
Yeah, I'm 18, bro. I'm actually 34.
You're a little bit muffled.
I'm 33 years old.
Okay. You're a little bit muffled. It's kind of hard to hear you.
I'm 33 years old.
Yeah.
You need to change something, or we won't be able to help you.
Are you covering your mic?
How about now?
What? Yep, that's way better.
Okay, cool.
So, okay, question number 2: are you a Bible believer?
I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe that the Bible was written over 2,000 years ago, and there may be some errors in it.
All right. And what are your pronouns?
What do you mean?
Like, do you go by he, him, she, her, or they, them?
What do you mean? I don't understand the question.
When people refer to you, Edgar, in the third person, do they say he went to the store, she went to the store, or they went to the store?
He went to the store, I would suppose.
There you go. Edgar, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Edgar, why should I believe in the Bible?
Honestly, I don't care if you believe in the Bible. I mean, it's your soul that you're gambling with.
I don't have a soul.
Okay, so then why do you believe that? Why do you believe that you're so free from God? Is it science?
Free from God? It's not about being free from God, because you can't be free from someone who never really had a hold on you in the first place. God's like, are you free from Zeus? Are you free from Ra or Odin?
No, I'm not free from them, but
you just don't believe in them, right?
No, I don't believe in them. I don't.
Correct. Same. I don't believe in Yahweh.
But you don't believe in any God.
Correct.
Okay. So what makes you what gives you that confidence?
The fact that no one's ever been able to demonstrate Yahweh to me.
Okay, but do you like?
You're covering your mic again.
I was. Okay, so but do you understand that science does not have all the answers?
I don't know whether or not it has all the answers, but that's irrelevant. I only believe in things that are demonstrable, and if there's something beyond the realm of science that, and you can't demonstrate to me that something exists, I don't have any business in believing in it.
Doesn't asking if
Okay,
science has
so
all the answers
so
well?
so then why do you
One second,
believe
Edgar.
in?
1 second, Edgar. What was that, Ashland?
Yeah, doesn't like asking if science has all the answers while believing in a god kind of not make you seem a little like odd? Like, why is it that you ask us that when God doesn't seem to solve this problem either?
I didn't understand the question she asked.
God
Can
doesn't.
you rephrase it?
God doesn't answer any questions. Not really.
So you guys understand that the Bible was written over 2,000 years ago, and that to scrutinize it 2,000 years later, y'all don't see anything wrong with that?
No, not at all. If someone's going to claim to me that Jesus was the Messiah, I'm
It
going
was
to
written
go.
over.
I'm going to go to the primary sources to see whether or not I have a good reason to think Jesus was the Messiah.
Right, but it was the 2,000 years ago. His words proved to them that it was written. It's just that the book was those
What
books
could
were
you,
written over two
his?
thousand years ago.
What was that? It was his words. What?
His books.
Uh
I'm.
huh.
Please don't get into like the First Testament. We're talking about Jesus Christ.
No, no,
Second
no. You kind of
Second Testament
no,
and
no, no, no,
on.
no, no, no. You have to talk about the Old Testament in order to talk
Bro,
about
no, you
Jesus.
don't.
Yeah, yeah, you
No, you
do
don't.
because
No, you
yes, you
don't.
do. Yes, you do.
No, you
So
don't. No, you don't.
Jesus
Because Jesus
claimed to be
came. Jesus.
Jesus claimed to be the Messiah of Israel. In order to find out whether or not he was indeed the Messiah of Israel, he had to fulfill prophecies about the Messiah in the Hebrew Bible. If he didn't fulfill those prophecies, then he's not the Messiah. You catch my drift? You can unmute yourself. You have to unmute yourself, Edgar. Here. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Here. Edgar, I've invited you to turn on your microphone. There you
Oh,
Why
go.
do they
that's
run?
not bad.
They run from the Old Testament that
Shit, my bad, bro. But
God.
like, I felt like I was the fucking Verizon person for a second there. But no, like cordially, bro. Let's have a cordial discussion, bro. Like I'm not trying to shit on you. You're not trying to shit on me. Let's
Yeah,
just have a cordial discussion.
yeah, don't ignore the part of your Bible then.
What Bible?
The Hebrew Bible. Don't ignore the Old Testament. You have to have the you have to
No.
talk yes. You have to talk about the Old Testament if you want to talk about Jesus. It is a prerequisite.
Jesus Christ pretty much came along and said that the Old Testament is the last is like it's no good. That's pretty much
Oh,
what he
okay.
said.
Actually, Jesus said
No.
word for word in Matthew 5:17 through 5:17 through 19, do not think that I've come to abolish the law or the prophets. I did not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. Verily I say to you, until heaven and earth passes away, which it hasn't, not one
gonna-
jot or one
I'll
tittle
let you
will
speak.
pass from the law until all is fulfilled. All is not yet fulfilled. Therefore, whoever breaks the least of these commandments and teaches others to do so will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. Whoever does and teaches them will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So no, Jesus did not teach that the Old Testament was irrelevant.
So
So
will you let me speak now?
sure, was Jesus the Messiah? Do we have evidence for this?
Okay, so you're gonna let me speak now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus came along and he said everything that I did was wrong. Jesus did away with sacrificial sacraments. Jesus did away with so much.
Show me
Jesus
where he did
gave
this.
us. What do you mean show you where? Why do I have to show you?
Show him, yeah, because if you're gonna make the
Why?
claim that Jesus did X, Y, yeah, because you're making a claim, I don't
You think it's my
let
job
people
to show
just
you? Look it up.
yes, actually, no, it is your job to show me. So you're
No,
not.
it's not.
You can't
It's
just. You can,
not my
yes,
job to show
yes. You can't just come up here and make claims and not expect me to call you on your claims. if you're going to say Jesus said X, Y, and Z, then you need to show me where in the Gospels Jesus did X, Y, and Z.
Turn on. Jeez Louise, how come I have to keep on turning my microphone on? Like it's like a
Because I keep
thing.
because I keep turning your microphone off.
You're
So
muting me off. Muting me?
yes. Now, where did Jesus say that he came to abolish the sacrificial laws? Show me.
Why do I have to prove that to you? Why? Do
Because
you
if
feel
you
like I
don't,
have to
I'm
prove
not
that
going.
to you?
Because if you don't, I'm not going to believe you.
Well, I don't care what you believe, dog.
Okay, then why you then you have no reason to be here, right?
No, I have plenty of reasons to be here.
No, you don't. Your whole purpose for being here is to prove to me the Bible is true. If you're not going to actually engage with what the Bible actually says, then my dude, you're in the wrong place. All right, next we have Matt 5087. Matt, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes,
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
absolutely.
And question number 3, what are your pronouns?
He, him.
Fantastic. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Tell me, Matt, why should I believe in the Bible?
I would point to, and again, I'm going to say this, and we'll go. Sorry, I was getting a call. I would say prophecies, and you're going to say which prophecies did Jesus fulfill? I'm sure,
Yes.
because I've listened to you before, and I would say like in Zechariah. I'm gonna start off small, and then we'll go. I guess you could say bigger, label them bigger. Like the Zechariah, the entrance on the donkey, the
But he
pierced
didn't
hands
fulfill
and feet.
that. He didn't
Well,
fulfill
according
those.
to
Well, no. If you read Zechariah chapter 9, Jesus clearly didn't fulfill that prophecy. He only fulfilled half of the prophecy. He, pun intended, half-assed it. So Zechariah chapter 9 says, "Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout aloud, O daughter of Jerusalem." One second. Lo, your king comes to you, triumphant and victorious is he, humble and riding on an ass, on a colt, the foal of an ass. He will cut off the chariot from Ephraim, and the war horse from Jerusalem, and the battle bow shall be cut off, and he shall command peace to the nations. His dominion shall be from sea to sea, and from the river to the ends of the earth. When did Jesus cut off the war horse from Ephraim and the battle bow?
man, that part I don't know. But as far as when it's talking about the peace, his dominion will be. What I interpret that to be is again, it's interpretation. Which would be actually, I mean, he did fulfill, like you said, some of that as far as actually riding on a donkey. His dominion.
But yeah, but even then he failed because it says that your king comes to you. Jesus never ruled as a king in Israel.
Well, right. Nobody actually. I mean, above his head they were mocking him by saying "King of the Jews," but as a Christian,
a week later,
he is like he said, like Jesus said to Pilate, "If my kingdom was of this world, his kingdom is not of this world. His kingdom is unseen." So he does have a kingdom.
That's exactly what you would expect if he was a pretender. Like if I wasn't actually a king, like if I claimed to be the king of England, and they said, "Okay, why aren't you sitting on the throne?" I'd say, "Well, my king."
Your mic, Dalton.
You just I can't hear you.
Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2,
I got
3.
you.
All right. So if I actually said, "Oh, my kingdom is not of this world," I wouldn't actually be the king of England because I didn't sit on a throne. I didn't actually rule over the masses. Jesus didn't sit on a throne. He didn't rule over the masses of Israel. And of course, there isn't actually peace in the world. In fact, right after Jesus' time, it became more unrest in Israel.
Right, but again, it also says in Scripture that he laid down all his dominion and basically everything to become flesh and dwell among us. So
what's the evidence of that?
Down. Well, I'm just telling you what Scripture says, what he himself said. So
Sure.
I would argue that he said that he told everybody, look, I'm laying where my kingdom's from. I'm laying everything down to become flesh to dwell among you. So
But
just like the
is
King
that
of England came to America, he's still the King of England, not the King of America, even though he's in America, right?
Yeah, but you could actually prove that he was the King of England, though, couldn't you? When it comes to the claims of Jesus, they're just claims. You're not able to demonstrate that he was actually like came from heaven,
Well,
or that
you
his kingdom
can.
was not of this world. Well, how can you prove that?
Well, I would say through the resurrection. And again, me and you can't prove the resurrection because we weren't there, so
Well,
we have to take account of eyewitnesses. And you're going to say,
we
who
don't
was the
have any.
eyewitnesses? Right.
Yeah.
And that's
So why are you
again,
using these
I have to use.
why
Go
are
ahead.
you using these arguments if you know that they're not good?
Well, to me, they are good, but if somebody, it's hard to. Somebody that doesn't believe in the Bible, it's hard to quote the Bible because they don't believe in it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I'm just.
what
Go ahead.
what makes you different than a Muslim? A Muslim would say the same thing.
You're
It's hard to
right.
quote
You're
them.
right. And I can't. I don't want to talk over you. I'm sorry, huh?
Yeah, I mean, again, so it seems like all the things that the Messiah should be able to do, that we would be able to demonstrate that he is the Messiah, Jesus didn't do. And all the things that you claim he did do are things you can't actually back up with facts.
Well, the reason, just like the Jews in that time, the disciples kept asking him, "Are you at this time going to restore the kingdom?" They expected their king to come in and overthrow the Roman government, and that's not what he didn't come he come to divide, like he said. He came, as the lamb first. He's coming back as the lion later. So
So
you
the
know
Jewish
the Bible,
people,
man. You know
the,
what I'm
Ju- the,
talking
Ju-
about.
the Jewish people asked Jesus if he was going to do the things that the
The
Hebrew
disciples.
Bible. Well, yeah, sure. Well, they were Jewish people.
Yeah.
They,
Right.
they asked him if he was going to do the things that was said that he would do in the Hebrew Bible, and
Which
the
he
answer is,
eventually will.
well, then it's unfulfilled. And I could just say the same thing about Menachem Mendel Schneerson, who died in the 1990s. Everyone thought he was the Messiah in Judaism. Then he died. I could just say, listen, I know he didn't fulfill all these prophecies, but he'll do it when he comes back.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's going to fulfill all these prophecies when he's come back. There's key things that he will do at a later date. Doesn't take away
Sure.
of
So
who
will.
he is.
So will. Sure, oh yeah, sure. Menachem Mendel Schneerson will do all these things when he returns. It doesn't take away from who he is.
You're right. And again, when you have if you line them up, Christianity, Buddhism, all the religions, people are gonna say, well, my religion's right and yours is wrong. I'm not here to say who's that the Buddhism and all. I don't believe in that. I believe in my God. I'm not saying that what they're doing, I can't disprove their feelings and their emotions, their experiences and all that. I'm just talking to you about the Bible because that's what the topic was.
Yeah. So, sure. Let's talk about the Bible. Why doesn't Jesus know that Psalm 82 is not in the Law of Moses?
Do what? Psalm
Why-
82?
Yeah. Why doesn't Jesus know when he's quoting the Psalms that it's not the
Talking about
Psalms?
when he's on the cross, when he says, "Father, why have you forsaken me?"
No, he says
That's
to
Psalms
the
22.
no. Well, Psalm 22 is a whole nother problem in and of itself. But Jesus says to the Pharisees, "Is it not written in your law, I say you are gods?" Where is that in the Law of Moses?
I have no idea, dude. I don't. Again, I'm sure there's. What does Matthew 4:4 say?
About man does not live by bread alone, but by every word which proceeds from the mouth of God.
All right. What is? I'm just saying is just because I don't know, a certain scripture doesn't mean that I don't know what every scripture that you're going to bring up is what I'm saying. Is I'm not.
So Jesus says that he quotes a passage from the Hebrew Bible and says it's from the Law of Moses, but it wasn't from the Law of Moses. It was from the Psalms. Why doesn't Jesus, who supposedly is God in human flesh, know that he's quoting from the Psalms and not the Law?
I can't speak for that, man. I don't. And even if that was the case, it's not gonna cause. I don't know. That's what you guys like to do a lot of times is take like one scripture and it's like, well,
We take
why
the Bible
this, why that?
seriously. That's the
Well,
question.
so do I.
I don't think you do though. If you took the Bible seriously, you would actually like go and like, for example, research. Like when an author of the New Testament quotes the Hebrew Bible, you would go back and you would actually study what the author of the original text said in the Hebrew Bible. But you would, maybe you do read it, but maybe you would just ignore what the author is actually saying.
No, it's not that. I can't remember reading that. It doesn't mean that I don't know the Bible. You know what I mean? Just because I can't quote one scripture or know what exactly he's trying to say or not to say, or why he quoted this instead of that. Like, to me, that is, I don't know. I just take the, even the, if you believe that Jesus was a real person, which you said you do, I asked you that in the comments, you believe that he existed, as far as you can tell at this moment. If you believe he existed, and then you have, eyewitness accounts of.
I don't have any eyewitness accounts.
Well, the scripture said, Peter seeing the empty tomb, the women.
Says who?
The writer. The writer.
The writer.
Okay. If you let's take Luke. Let's just take Luke. Luke is considered to be a follower of Peter, and I've done a lot of research on this. Like
Luke is considered to be a follower of Paul, and we don't know who wrote Luke.
I'm sorry, Paul. I meant Paul.
Did you read Luke 1?
But listen, like Mark and Luke or whatever is not, actual disciples.
No,
So
hold on. Luke 1. Where is it? Oh, let me go to my Bible. Since I may have undertaken a compile a narrative about the events that have been fulfilled among us, just as they were handed on to us of those from the beginning were eyewitnesses. Luke tells us he's not an eyewitness in Luke 1:1.
right, I didn't say Luke was an eyewitness of the resurrection. That's not what I said.
Yeah, he's not an eyewitness anyway. This is just him telling us stories from unknown witnesses who he doesn't name.
Right, but I'm saying if you do enough research, you're going to find that like I was trying to say is Luke and Mark were not actually considered disciples or followers of Jesus. They were followers of the apostles that followed Jesus, or disciples
there's a huge problem here, bud, is that you're assuming that Mark and Luke wrote the Gospels of Mark and Luke. We have zero reason
I
to
didn't
think
say
so.
they did that. The
Okay,
author of, yeah, I didn't. I know that his,
Here.
historians and scholars. I'm not saying the actual Matthew wrote Matthew or Mark wrote Mark. It was Marcion. Like, I could go on and on about different things, but anyway, what I was saying is the eyewitnesses accounts. There was eyewitness accounts.
From who? Where?
We may not have gospels of Mary, gospels of
where are
different
these
people.
where are these eyewitness accounts?
So who do you? Okay, let me ask you this: the writer that describes Mary going to the tomb.
I don't think that actually happened, because it's just a story from an unknown source.
Okay, you're right. Well, would you even if Mary had her own gospel and it was in the Bible, in the canon, and it said, "I seen the empty tomb," you still wouldn't believe it.
Well, no, if we actually had a text that actually said that it was actually from Mary, that would be a lot more credible than the Gospels we have.
But you wouldn't believe it because you don't believe the Bible. So for me
you're completely misunderstanding how it is that I read the Bible. Like, for example, I think that Paul really did have an experience where he where he believed to interact with Jesus. Paul doesn't. For example, does Paul ever say anything about Mary Magdalene seeing an empty tomb?
No, but he says that he appeared to 500 people at once. He doesn't list them, but he does say that. He also says about Peter.
In what way did he appear to them?
The brother, huh?
In what way did he appear to them?
There's several, as far as what Paul is talking about, or the Gospels, because the Gospels, they appears to a lot of people in different places.
I don't care about the Gospels; they're myth. 1 Corinthians 15, when Paul says that Jesus appeared to Peter and appeared to the 12 and appeared to the 500, what is the nature of this appearance? Do we know?
Well, does the location matter?
Not just the location, but for example, were they seeing Jesus standing in the room with them, or was it an inner experience?
Well, okay, but let me ask you this: did Paul, like you just said, if you had some writers say that they seen the empty tomb or the resurrection, it would be more credible. So you have Paul saying that Jesus himself appeared to people.
In
Is that
in
not
what
credible?
way? No, no, I don't doubt that people had experiences where they thought Jesus appeared to them. The question is, did they
What
think
makes you
Jesus?
think it was just a thought instead of actual happening?
Because it's
Not
statistic.
just a thought. Not just say that it's just a thought. It's just like wild. They would have been
Exactly.
having like no, I'm not agreeing with you. I just don't think you're
I
understanding.
know you're not. I know what you're talking about. I'm not.
Well, yeah, like perceptual experiences. It seems like Paul would be like ranked in a certain schizotypy like spectrum. Not he would be like high schizotypy or vision prone personality. And it seems like the way that he writes it, he never actually physically, like, there's no Jesus in front of him. He's always having the way that he talks, the way that he's acting, when he speaks about Jesus. It seems like he's just having visions, which are really, really common
Okay.
during this
I
time period.
understand that. Well,
Yeah.
who do you think came to Paul and said, "Look, man, Jesus appeared to us"? So, and Paul writes it down.
Yeah, Peter was a follower of Jesus. He probably
You
loved
think Peter
Jesus.
is the schizophrenic too?
I think he had a bereavement hallucination.
No, that's not schizophrenia. Phrenia, they're not the same. So
Yeah.
schizophrenia indicates pathology where there's up to 30 to 60% of the world's populations wind up having kind of what is known as bereavement hallucination, because we know that it's not with stimuli. However, like when it comes down to visions, like Paul was having bereavement hallucinations or actual like hallucinations as far as pathology, there are different brain networks involved. The bereavement hallucinations tend to center memory and still and the same areas of the brain that hallucinations come from. They just differ in that. So there's a ton of overlap. With visions, you tend to see areas of the brain that are high in imagination. And we've confirmed that like this occurs within modern people, so it would seem really probable during a time period in which this would have been revered, during like as a like good social quality, because we know that when it's accepted in society, these types of things occur more often.
I got you. So let me ask you this: like, let's just say, would you both agree that one or two things happened? One, I guess you could say two, but one, Paul actually seen Jesus, or two, he had a schizophrenic, whatever you just described.
Not schizophrenic.
Or
That's
I'm
the
sorry, I
pathology.
keep saying that, but whatever you just
A
described,
vision. A
a
vision.
vision, hallucination, whatever. Do you think that's one of the two?
I think the most.
the vision is the most probable given his writings and during the given the cultural context of this. What is it
But
you
how
said
would
he
you?
likely would have been participating in, Dalton?
Say what?
What is it that you said he likely would have been participating?
Oh,
in?
he would have been participating in like, for example, rhythmic chanting and praying and meditation and fasting
But
and
how do
all
you know
and
that?
all and like, because these were practices common amongst Jews in the first century, and all of these could have easily triggered like these sort of scenarios.
Okay, well, let me ask you a personal question, and I don't mean this in any disrespect at all. I'm talking to the host. Do you ever have hallucinations or schizophrenic ideas or thoughts or anything like that?
No, I'm an individual who's less prone
Okay.
to those sort of events.
Okay, so if Jesus, if
Ashlyn
Jesus
has.
appeared to you-
Ashlyn has.
I have,
Okay.
and I knew that it was. I've had one after using a certain schmug, and I was prone to
Yeah.
something more than my friend was, so I had like more vivid experiences. But my brother was schizoaffective, so I have a
Right.
high, I'm higher in that schizotypy type, or I'm a higher schizotypy individual. And it just means that likely I have a lot more imagination than Dalton might, or that those areas of my brain might be triggered more. But yeah, I've had ones. I forgot. They're called. Oh, I forgot the name of them. It's basically when you wake up and you're in this dream state, and I've seen things like
Sleep paralysis.
moving. No, it's not sleep. It's a different name. I forgot the name of it. But yeah, and a lot of people are prone to this. Like 1 in 10 people around the world are prone to this type of thing, according to the World Health Organization.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the reason why I asked you, Dalton, if you don't mind me using your first name instead of host, but um, you say that you have never had one or experienced one, and you're less likely, or whatever you described yourself as. But let's say Jesus appeared to you now, and you told somebody, "Hey, Jesus just appeared to me," and they told you, "Man, you're probably hallucinating or whatever."
I
Like,
would probably,
you know
I
what I
would,
mean?
I would probably agree with them. If I had a vision where I saw a religious figure, I would probably assume that my brain was
But
experiencing
how do you know
something.
what is true and what's not?
Yeah,
Like,
I would.
how do you know?
I would ask the visionary individual to demonstrate that I'm not having a vision, and if it's Jesus, he can do that.
Okay. Well, what if there was 500 people and all of a sudden
Well, we
they're
don't,
all seeing the
Matt.
same? I'm
We
just saying. I
no,
know
Matt.
they
You
don't
just assume.
listen.
No, no. You just assumed something. You just assumed that the 500 all saw the same thing. You don't know that.
Well,
You
it
don't
says
know.
it once.
Yeah,
I'm
but
just
you don't.
based off what
You
it says.
you don't know
Because
that
again,
for.
I take
But
scripture.
Matt,
There's
you don't know that all 500 of them were actually seeing the same thing, and you
But
don't
you don't know they
know.
didn't.
Yeah. So
we have modern day studies from churches, specifically I sent Dalton one from a church in London, that there was a ton of individuals, and it's tons of qualitative data revolving around them seeing and hearing things that don't exist, or thinking that
Yeah.
God spoke to them in certain ways. This still happens during a time period that it wouldn't be as culturally accepted. So I can't imagine how much more would have happened during a time period that it was revered and looked at as a good thing. Because we know that when in modern society, especially when cultures see this as a good thing, that these types of experiences happen more often.
Right. I was just saying. I mean, do you think it's more credible the more number of people see the same thing? Yes or no?
If they all
again, you don't know.
we have different accounts where that has actually occurred, um, in Catholicism, I believe, but they're very rare, and we weren't there. But it wouldn't. It's still more probable that that happens than some sort of miracle would happen.
Yeah,
Well, see, that's
and again, you
you're
don't know that the 500 are all actually seeing the same thing. You don't even know who they are. Paul just says that there are 500 who
But
have an
why would he say?
experience
Why would he just throw out a number? Why would he just leave it at? Yeah, they appeared to the disciple. Why would he go to the next level and
because
say?
it adds credibility to his testimony.
But if
And
he's
again,
schizophrenic, why would he want?
he's not
Do they?
schizophrenic. Again, he's not schizophrenic.
He's
That's
not.
not the.
There's no
I'm
pathology. He
sorry, I
doesn't.
don't mean to keep saying that. I'm misquoting that. I
This
just
is this is typical psychology. This is not atypical psychology. He had visions. These are in, and it's honestly the reason why I'm correcting this language is because pathology indicates some sort of distress, dysfunction, or deviantness from typicality. And plenty of cultures have these experiences. It would be like telling a shaman that he's crazy, and that's just culturally insensitive.
Yeah.
so
So
again,
here's the
like,
thing. All we have is Paul saying that 500 unnamed witnesses had an experience. We don't know any of these people. We don't have any of their testimony. We don't know that. As far as you know, it could have just been that a mass number of them all had individual experiences about Jesus, whether they're having hallucinations or visions, or they're just having an inner experience of Jesus, and others being peer pressured would be like, oh yeah, I saw him too. I saw the same thing. Because I guarantee you, as one who grew up in a charismatic church where people spoke in tongues, peer pressure can lead you to engage in all kinds of spiritual actions that you don't actually feel. So
I agree
again,
with
this
that.
is
I agree. The only
this is not a good talking point for proving the resurrection.
Well, I agree with what you just said. Like, but the only thing that keeps me hung up on this idea is when he says "at once," meaning
But
like
you
they were
don't
in the same place together. I'm just basing off what he said.
even if this all happened in one single sitting, where these 500 people experienced this event, we don't know again that they're all seeing the same exact thing.
But what if
E-
they are, man? That's what I'm saying.
But
Like,
do you have
you gotta
any
think of that as
do we
well.
have Do we have any evidence to suggest that they all saw the same thing?
I got just as much evidence as you have, as far as they could have all did this. They could have all said,
Well,
"Yeah,
no.
I've seen it too."
Actually, no. All you have is one statement from Paul. We have heaps of data that demonstrate that this sort of thing happens all the time in mass gatherings of religious people, and all those times they are not all seeing the same exact thing.
Do you think? Let me ask you this: do you think one eyewitness account is pretty serious?
If we had an actual eyewitness account from Jesus's life, that would be pretty like a lot more substantial.
I meant like as far as seeing something, an eyewitness account, as far as seeing an event take place.
Are you talking about like for someone, a modern day person giving their testimony?
I just in general, like just an eyewitness testimony of an event happened. Do you think that's very credible?
If it's a historical event, it could be credible. If it's like a spiritual event, it's as likely that they're having some sort of alternative brain state happen to them.
So, and the reason I say that is, a court of law, an eyewitness account is pretty serious. If you say you've seen somebody do something, they're like,
eyewitness accounts are like the least credible form of evidence in a court of law. The Gospels would not be counted as any good evidence in a court of law. A judge would throw them straight out. Mostly because they contradict each other.
If I was in a court and I said, yes, I seen, or let's just say, let's say I seen this person unalive this person, I was there and seen it.
Well, here's the difference, Matt. We would know that you are the individual giving the testimony. Now, if you had written us a letter saying that you saw something and you didn't sign that work, it would no longer be credible. It would just be an anonymous statement from an unknown person about a claim that they made. So that latter incident is more like the Gospels, not like someone standing on a court and giving their like testimony. We would at least know who's giving their testimony at that point.
Got you. Makes sense. And the other thing, if somebody else wants to come up too, but I could keep talking for an hour. But I was just going to say, like you have this Jesus predicting his death and resurrection.
No, we have the Gospels claiming that Jesus predicted his death and resurrection, but the Gospels were written at the very minimum 40 years after Jesus' death. And we know for a fact that the Gospels are not beyond making things up about Jesus because, well they do.
If I said something today and made a comment today about an event that happened 100 years from now, and you found out that was true, you were with me, and I said this event happened, you were a witness to it, and it happened 100 years from now, if somebody says that guy said, this event would happen, like it's been 100 years, I don't think it's really
if they could demonstrate that you actually did say it and that the source telling you that you said it was authentic, that would be something.
Well, that's
but again,
what I'm saying.
all we have, they're not useful to us. The Gospels are, again, anonymous writings from unknown persons decades after the fact, making claims about Jesus, and we know for a fact that they're not above making things up about Jesus, because just read the nativity stories. They make up stuff about Jesus all the time.
Right. What I'm saying is but you do have somebody, an unknown author, stating that a man claimed to be the Messiah. He claimed that he was going to die, and 3 days later he arose, and then they found an empty tomb. It's still an unknown author, but it doesn't discredit that they've seen that and witnessed that.
No, no, we don't know that they saw this and witnessed this. These are just stories about Jesus. We have no good reason to think that any of the events in the Gospels are reporting on the real life of Jesus of Nazareth. They read to me like myths. They don't read like biographies.
So you mean to tell me if somebody was actually wrote down and said, I, Peter, a follower of Jesus Christ,
that would be far more credible.
Why?
Because we would actually know who wrote it then.
But the if you knew who wrote a book, doesn't discredit what's in the book.
Sure. If we had a work from an author where they actually said that they were the ones who wrote it, they wrote in the first person, they demonstrated skepticism about stories like real historians do. Like we just Paul? No, not like Paul. Paul isn't a historian. We have, like, for example, Josephus or Herodotus. When they report on events in history, they sometimes express skepticism. Like, well, some people say this happened, but other people say this possibly may have happened, or they'll cite their sources. Josephus will tell us, well, I got this information from someone, from so and so who was in the court of King Herod. We don't see anything like that in the Gospels. All we see are these stories told third person, not first person, not reporting, just telling a story about events, never expressing skepticism, and never citing their sources. This is a myth, not history.
But you can't prove it's a myth, man. Just because
Sure,
you
we
have
can.
lack of evidence.
We can demonstrate. We can absolutely demonstrate it's a myth. Like, for example, it's quite impossible that the nativity events of the Gospels of Matthew and Luke could have both happened, because they absolutely 100% contradict each other.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. That I know. I've heard. I watch a lot of Christ Before Jesus. You know, Jaron and all them. Like I've heard it all, dude. I promise you. And you're right. It does have different stories, going to Egypt, staying in. I know.
They also take place 10 years apart from each other.
And I'm not sitting here. You know, that's the thing. It's like, if you think there was unknown authors, and I was just thinking about this the other day. If you say there was unknown authors and even multiple authors that added to the Gospels and different things, how do you know what was added wasn't what was real?
Yeah, because we have no good reason to think that these are real. When the gospel authors repeatedly make things up about Jesus, it throws the whole book. I mean, we don't, and also you don't know how many sources. You don't know where they're getting their stories from. I have no good reason to trust that these stories are historically reliable or accurate. But we definitely do need to move on. We've spoken too long on this. But Matt, thank you for coming up.
Yeah, man.
All right. Let's see who else. Oh, we got Secular Glassblower.
Yeah, he's going to come up here and try to say that we shouldn't respect indigenous people's beliefs.
Only if they're irrational beliefs.
Secular,
That was my point.
are you a Bible believer?
No.
No. I think that's all desert superstitions, right?
Okay. Well, I'm only taking opposition at the moment, but thank you for coming up. We have Det8 V Mokim. Don't know what. I'm going to call you Det. Det, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask all my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old? Let's see if they're able to load in.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Are you at least 18 years old?
Oh yeah. I was just gonna. Yeah, I know you're taking I won't take up too much of your time. Just 2 seconds. I was just gonna ask if Matt thought that, or if we think that it is cognitive dissonance, or is he having existential crisis?
Who?
Matt, the one that was just on before, and people that think this way.
Oh, cognitive dissonance, probably.
I'm not gonna try to, like, I'm not gonna, like...
No. And I'm not gonna waste any of your time. That's all. You can kick me off right now, and that's all I wanted to ask Matt, and that's it.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming up.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Now we have Julian. Let's see. Waiting for guests to load in. Did they disappear? Are they not coming up? I guess not. All right. Well, we're going to go to Undoctrinated. Undoctrinated, are you at least 18, and are you a Bible believer?
I am, and yes.
All right. And what are your pronouns?
Just Dustin's fine.
And no, what are your third person pronouns?
I'm a he.
All right, fantastic. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Undoctrinated. Why should I believe in the Bible?
So, this is a deep, tough question to answer, but for me personally, I struggled. I went, on the teeter-totter for most of I'm 45 years old now, went teeter-totter for most of my life.
I would ask that you avoid personal testimony, as it's not very valuable in this conversation.
Okay, so...
and by the way, this is not why should you believe in the Bible, but why should I believe in the Bible?
If you let me cook, I'll get there. So, basically, I hadn't... if you read the Bible for just the black and white words that are there, it's going to take you the wrong direction. It's going to be hard to believe in. It's a bunch of history stories, but you have to look deeper into the esoteric meanings
Why?
of things
Why should I look
behind.
into? Why should I
Well,
look into some deeper esoteric?
if you study history at all, at one point in time, actually at all points in time, this was hidden knowledge. Okay,
Says
it was
who?
hidden knowledge. Just do some actual research.
I have.
Go back to it all leads back to Rome, and Rome became the Vatican, etc., and then the monarchies.
Well, this doesn't tell me why I should believe that there's some deeper esoteric meaning to the Bible.
Well, if you just read it, if pull up your Chat GPT, for instance, and ask it what does Genesis represent esoterically. It's literally a mirror.
If I ask ChatGPT what it means esoterically, I'm prompting it to give me an answer that lends itself to esotericism. I should ask ChatGPT, do we have any good reason to believe that the book of Genesis should be read esoterically? And my ChatGPT, by the way, is actually prompted to give me unbiased answers from like secular scholarship that has evidence behind it. So it's probably not going to favor you in that area. And again, I've already done the research, and I don't have any reason to think that the Bible needs to be read esoterically. I read the Bible the same way I read every other ancient text.
Well, here's one that will check this out if you don't mind. If you look at the Bible, the Quran, the Sefer Yetzirah, all these books, they all have the same hidden esoteric layer. It's as if an AI almost wrote these books originally. It's how deep it is. It's crazy how deep it is.
No. You're just reading things
Have you
that aren't
experienced
there.
DMT?
Nope, and I wouldn't care to, because DMT would just alter my brain in such a way that I would not be perceiving reality the way it is.
Say it on the live, guys.
Yeah,
You should try it.
I'll pass. I like my brain.
No, do not.
I don't know why people would think I would want to. Yeah, I don't know why people would think I would want to alter my brain so that I'm not thinking clearly. No, thank you.
You can, if you are prone to certain mental disorders like schizophrenia or schizoaffective, you can change your brain and basically put yourself into an active state of psychosis that you may not get out of for years. They are not something to take lightly.
Yeah. JD, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Are you at least 18 years old, and are you a Bible believer?
Yes and yes.
And what are your pronouns?
Him.
All right. I'm Dalton the Bible guy. Why should I believe in the Bible? I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I?
You shouldn't believe in the Bible. I don't believe in the Bible. I believe in God. Yeah, I just got you. That's right. I got you.
JD, what do the
Believe
words
in the- you believe in
JD,
God,
what do the words above my head say? And what do the words above my head indicate about the kind of guests I'm asking to come up? Use your brain for 5 seconds. What does it say? Do you know how to work the microphone?
I guess it turned off for some reason. Maybe I got
I muted you. Yes. Now, what do
Okay,
the
that's
words
what
what do the words above my head say, and what does that insinuate about the kind of people I'm asking to come up?
So you want me to say that I believe in the Bible?
Only if you
Then
actually
why should you
do.
believe in the Bible?
Only if you actually
I,
do believe in the Bible. Do you believe in the Bible?
I do.
All right. Why should I?
Well, the Bible, the reason I believe in the Bible is because it taught me about an ancient God that created this world. And so I believe the Bible.
And what did it tell you about this God? What are his
It
qualities?
started out with the creation, why he created man, and also how man fell from God by being disobedient to God.
Okay,
in the
why should I
beginning.
believe
So,
that? Why should I believe that Genesis is anything other than myth?
well, you can believe what you want. That's true. You asked, why should I believe in the Bible?
Yeah.
Not
Why
you.
should? No. When I say
Why
why should
should
I?
I?
No, JD. When I ask why should I believe in the Bible, I'm not asking about you. I'm asking about
Okay.
me. When I use the first person pronoun I, I'm referring to myself.
Well, I think you would believe in the Bible if you read it
I have.
carefully.
I've read it
You
front.
have.
I've read it front to back, and I've even learned Hebrew in order to
Well,
read the
then
Hebrew
you just need
Bible.
to read the Bible. You just need to read the Bible.
Yeah, the
So-
Bible guy. You just need to read the Bible. There's a reason I'm called the Bible guy.
Well, I think that's an interesting question. Why should you? I can give you a lot of reasons. One is the Bible is instructions
I mean,
on ancient times and
You're
ancient
right. It
history,
is. There are
and
instructions
it
on how
also
to
deals
stone
with
women.
it also
It's got a
deals
lot of
with
instructions on how and why you should stone women.
they're not very
how
good
and why
instruction.
what?
You should stone women. They're not very good instructions. They're barbaric
Well,
in
no,
some
it's the
cases.
history. It's the history and the evolution of man
No,
and
it's
how we
God. It's
started in
God's
the beginning.
law. God's
Well,
the one telling people to stone women and children.
Well, see, the Bible is in Old Testament and New Testament. So
Very
and
the New Testament is Jesus did not, in the Bible it says that Jesus did not believe in stoning women.
That's
As a
not
matter
really,
of fact, he
so
forgave.
JD, you're
He
about to
told
quote to
men
me,
to forgive one another. So there should be no more killing. Go ahead.
JD. You know that the story called the pericope adultery, John chapter 8, where Jesus doesn't stone the adulterous woman, isn't
Right.
original. Is not actually original to the Gospel of John. Our oldest versions of the Gospel of John do not include this story.
Yep, I can show it to you too.
And so because of that, I shouldn't believe in the Bible.
Jesus actually said
All of
quite the
its
opposite.
teachings.
Jesus said explicitly in Matthew chapter 5, verses 17 through 19, that he didn't come to abolish the law, but to fulfill it, and told his followers that if they negated even the slightest letter of the law, that they would be called least in the kingdom of heaven. Jesus consistently taught his followers to observe the law of Moses. In fact, his
Not
number
only
one gripe against the religious leaders of his day was that they weren't keeping the law of Moses.
Not only this, you could make an argument, even if John 8 was original to the text, that the reason why Jesus did not hold up stones to the woman is because he would also have had to stone the man at the same time. And that would have broken the law if he would have just stoned her. So, and that's according to Deuteronomy. So yeah, he it's about the law. It's not about because he just didn't want to fulfill it. Yeah, that's like BS.
Well, I think you should believe in the Bible because it's a beautiful story
It's
of
not.
the creation of man,
Have you read the Bible?
all the way to the revelation. where
Have you
God
read the
is going
Bible?
to say- Yes, I have, from
Then
cover to cover.
question: did God at one point force the Israelites, because of their sin? Oh, thank you for the galaxy, to eat their own children as a punishment?
Here, I'm gonna
I,
read JD.
I
I'm gonna
don't
read
I don't
something to
recall any of that where God told Israel to be accountable.
Thank you for
I
the.
want to.
I'll pull it
I
up
want to
while
read.
Ashlyn looks for the passage she's about to read. I will find the passage for you.
I already got it. I've already got it.
Oh, the
Now,
cannibalism passage.
no. This one's the female captives.
Here, go ahead and
Do you
read that
want me
one.
to
I'm
read?
gonna go ahead and read that one. I'm gonna look for the cannibalism passage.
So, JD, tell me if this is beautiful. When you
Mhm.
go to war against your enemies, and the Lord your God hands them over to you, and you take them captive, suppose you see among the captives a beautiful woman whom you desire and want to marry, and so you bring her home to your house. She shall shave her head, pare her nails, discard her captain's guard, and remain in your house a full month mourning for her father and mother, the ones you just, 86'd. After that you may go into her, grape her, and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. But if you are not satisfied with her, you shall let her go free, and certainly not sell her for money. Oh, yeah, of course. Just don't sell her. You may not treat her as a slave since you have dishonored her. Beautiful,
So,
right?
and also, by the way, in Leviticus chapter 26, verse 29, God tells the Israelites that if they disobey him, quote, you will eat the flesh of your sons and you will eat the flesh of your daughters. This was one of the punishments given by God for disobeying Yahweh. And we have stories in, for example, we have a narrative account during the famine at Samaria that tells of a woman who cooked her own child in 2 Kings chapter 6. And this was because Yahweh was punishing the Israelites for their disobedience. So that's not exactly, and also the story that Ashlyn just gave us, that's not a beautiful story. Not in the least bit.
Well, and that's why I said there's the New Testament, where Jesus understood that the God of the Old Testament had been accused of some horrifying things. And actually, Jesus did not actually condone those gods that they believed in, all of them in the Old Testament. There was a passage in the New Testament.
The God that he
Jesus
worshipped,
tells them that their God,
the God that
knows
Jesus
their God.
worshipped was the God of the Old Testament.
not absolutely true.
Yes, absolutely true. Jesus says the greatest commandment was, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. By the way, the Lord your God there is referring to Yahweh, the God of the Old Testament, because that's a quotation from Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4 through 5, where it says, hear, O Israel, Yahweh our God, Yahweh is one, and you shall love the Yahweh your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Jesus quoted that as being the greatest commandment. So yes, he worshipped Yahweh, the God of the Old Testament.
He did not call him Yahweh.
Sure, he did. If
He
Jesus
said-
was a
he said-
if Jesus was a Jew,
Hallowed be thy name, he said. Hallowed be thy name. Because there were so many names. See, God has been accused of so many things, but God is innocent. God did not do anything to anyone. And these lords that you're talking about.
I'm sorry,
these lords
didn't Yahweh force David's wives to be raped by their son Absalom as a punishment for David? The answer is yes, by the way.
Now, was this God or was this the
It was
Melchizedek?
it was Yahweh, the God of
Were
Israel.
these the Levitican priests that
It
he
was God.
listening to?
It was God.
Okay, so you're saying the voice of God from heaven, the Most High, told him to rape his wives.
No, God told David that he would cause David's son Absalom to rape David's wife as a punishment for David's sin.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not a good story. And this is, by the way, this is
the God
the God of the Old Testament is worshipped by Jesus as being the God above all gods. You don't get to just say, well, God was just in a temper tantrum in the Old Testament, but he's better now. No, Jesus absolutely confirmed everything in the Hebrew Bible as being from God and being true.
And if they
Jesus-
didn't, it would be really weird that they were trying that the New Testament authors were trying very hard to get Jesus to fulfill messianic prophecy had they not believed in this. There would be no reason for them to do that.
So do you believe that Jesus Christ is the Messiah?
Oh, no, he didn't fulfill a single prophecy from the Old Testament about the Messiah. So no, definitely not the Messiah.
Okay. And so you don't believe that Jesus, if you don't believe that Jesus is the Messiah, then you don't believe in the New Testament of Jesus either.
Of course
The
not.
New Testament is the New Testament of God, and a God of love, not a God of war.
Not really. God of the New Testament is not really a God of love, especially if you believe in hell. Hell is not loving. Punishing someone infinitely for finite crimes is not the definition of love.
Yeah, the God of the New Testament is like a million times worse than the God of the Old Testament, just solely based on hell.
So Jesus gave his life so that he would be the sacrificial lamb that was
Kind of an
prophesied in the
inconvenience.
Old Testament, so that we would be redeemed and be able to call God Father.
Yeah, only if you're able to
God.
believe in only if you're
That's
able to
not
believe.
beautiful?
No,
that's
it's
a beautiful
not.
story?
No, it's not, because if you don't believe in this nonsense, which there is no evidence for, then God is going to burn you alive forever and ever and always. That's not beautiful. That's called coercion. That's like abusive.
Well, the last thing that Jesus said was, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." So, do you know that that meant that he was forgiving everyone in the past, the present,
Oh,
and the future?
so no one
Because
has
he's
to, no one
forgiving you right now
okay,
because
then
you
no one
you don't
then no one needs to
understand.
become then no one needs to become a Christian. If we're all already forgiven, then you're wasting your time convincing me to believe in the Bible because according to you, I'm already forgiven. So what's the fucking point?
Okay, the point is that you're forgiven of the sins of Adam and Eve, so that you can now
It's
speak to God and call him
it's
Father
it's
and
bullshit
not
that I
God. Now,
was it's bullshit that I
God is
was
not an
guilty.
alien.
It's bullshit
God
that
is
I
not an
was it's bullshit that I was convicted of the sins of Adam and Eve to begin with.
Wait, why did I still have pains when delivering my daughter then, Dalton? I was
Right?
forgiven.
Because according to the book of Genesis, JD, one of the curses of Adam and Eve's fall was that women would have tremendous pain in childbirth. But if
Mhm.
Jesus undid the work of Adam and Eve in the garden, why did
He
women
did.
still experience? Okay, then
Well, we
I have no
still
reason.
die.
Then I have no
We
reason
still
to.
Well, we
die.
weren't forgiven.
Well,
Yeah,
we were forgiven. Okay, so what happened after Adam sinned? It wasn't that. It wasn't only that he
At
had
least he blames
disobeyed God.
Adam.
It wasn't only that he had disobeyed God, but now because of his sin, him and God could not have the relationship that they once had in the Garden of Eden.
No,
says
it's more.
who?
It's what's more. What the text
The
actually says
relationship
is
between
this.
God and Adam were no longer there anymore. So
No,
Adam
no.
now walked
Says who?
without.
What the text actually says is that God was mad because he didn't want them to be like gods, knowing good and evil and
No,
taking from the tree of life. Yes, that is verbatim what
no,
God says.
no.
Do you
Yeah,
want me to
Gave
that's
read it
them.
to
that's
you?
that's
He
actually in
gave
the
them.
text.
He gave them
Yeah.
a commandment. He gave them a commandment. He said,
Nope.
"Thou shalt not eat of the tree, the
Nope.
forbidden tree."
Genesis 3:22. Then the Lord God said, "See, the humans have become like one of us, knowing good and evil, and now they might reach out their hands and take from the tree of life and eat and live forever. Therefore the
Right.
Lord God sent them forth from the garden of Eden."
Yes.
So, no, what he directly says is what I said. Now they know good and evil, and they might
Yes.
reach out their hands and take from the tree of life
Yes.
and eat for it and to live forever.
Yes.
He is mad because he does not want them to be
No,
like one of the gods.
he wasn't mad.
Sure, he
He
was.
told them, no, he told them that the day that you eat of this tree, you
You
shall
will
surely
die,
die.
And
which they
did.
Right,
didn't.
because now he was not going to allow them to eat from the tree of
JD,
life.
JD, Adam and Eve
They
didn't
weren't
die.
ready.
JD, Adam and Eve didn't die that day.
No, they didn't die that day.
So Yahweh
But now,
lied.
because now if they ate from the tree of life, they would live forever. But because they could not eat from the tree of life, because he he
I
banished them from
what
from
what
the
does this
Garden
have
of Eden.
what does this have to
Now
do with
they
why
now they
why
experience.
here,
See
JD?
what had happened.
What does this have to do with why I'm so lost in the conversation right now? What does this have to do with why I should believe in the Bible? You've given me no good reason in this entire conversation to believe that the Bible is true. You just keep telling me what it is you believe or what you think the Bible says, but you're not giving me any reason to think the Bible is true. For example, I told you that Jesus didn't fulfill a single messianic prophecy, therefore he's not the Messiah. Do you have any evidence to the contrary?
I don't have evidence except for the Bible. That's the only evidence that I have.
Ashlyn, get the extension cord.
Yeah,
JD, I wanted to show you something. I want you to tell me whether or
What's the
not,
extension?
yeah, here, you're going to
Hold on.
see something here. And I want you to tell me, Ashlyn's going to show you this extension cord. And
Well,
I'm going
it's
to,
it's technically it's not an extension cord.
Is he
but
going to electrocute me? Should I drop
No.
him?
no. I want you to tell me why it is that this plug won't work. Here, why won't this plug work?
It's obviously won't work. It's not plugged into a live circuit.
You mean it's plugged into itself? It's circular, right?
Yes.
So
Yes,
is
it's
your
not plugged.
so is your argument. You're telling me you should believe the Bible because the Bible says to. That's a circular argument. There's no power in that argument, and I therefore have no good reason to believe you. Why should I give a fuck? what the New Testament says.
That's another good question. You should make another room and ask that why to believe in the Old Testament or the Revelation.
That's included in this.
Why should I believe in the Bible? I told you the reason I think you should believe in the Bible is because it's a beautiful story. From
But it's
life
not.
to death into resurrection. And
There's
to
nothing
ascent.
beautiful. There's nothing beautiful about it. I'm sorry, but it's just
You
not
can't
beautiful.
see it.
It's ugly.
I'm sorry you can't see it now. But
No,
you know,
the only reason you're able to see is because you are suffering from Stockholm syndrome, where God is your captor, and you've somehow been convinced that He loves you, even though He treats you like shit.
the world treats me like shit. God has done nothing wrong to me.
Sure, he
God
has.
God
He
has
told
done
God
nothing,
made the world.
nothing wrong.
God, yeah,
is innocent.
God. The world sucks because God made it that
God
way.
made it.
No, the world, man made the world. This
No,
world
God
is
made the
made
world
by
according to the
man.
Bible.
My
But
God,
you don't think
God
God made the world?
earth. God made the earth.
It does
He
not.
put man-
Does anything happen outside of God's
That's a
divinely
beautiful
ordained?
thing.
Does anything happen outside of God's divinely ordained plan?
Oh, absolutely. You have free will.
Well, we don't. The Bible doesn't say anything about free will.
We have free will. Yes, he does. Yes, he
The
does.
Bible does. The Bible doesn't say anything about free will. See, you
No,
just
yes, it does. Because
okay. Where?
one of the things that the free will that man had in the beginning, when he said,
Where does the
"Don't
Bible
eat
say
of the
anything about
tree,"
free? Who?
when
Where
he
does the
said,
Bible?
"Don't
Where
eat
does the
of the
Bible?
tree,"
Where does the Bible say that Adam and Eve had free will?
listen to me. When he said, "Thou shalt not do this," that was giving you free will right there.
No,
He
that's
said, "The day
choice.
you eat of it,
That,
this
that's
will
a
happen."
that's a choice, but that doesn't
That's
choice
free
doesn't.
will.
No, choice doesn't automatically equal free will. How do you know that the
Why
choices
wouldn't
were? Because choices can be determined by prior causes.
No, if I give you a choice, that's a will. If you tell your
No,
child
that's
you
a
can
will,
stay
but
in
is
the
it a
house
is it?
or you
What do you
can
think?
go
What do you think?
outside, but if
What do you think the free and free will means?
it means free to make a choice, but that doesn't mean there won't be consequences.
Well, no, it means freedom from underlying causes. It means if you have free will, if you have free will, it means you're able to make a choice independent of an underlying cause. If there's an underlying cause for your choice, in other words, if there's something that happened prior to that resulted in you making a choice, then you weren't free to make that choice. You were determined to make that choice due to the underlying cause. Adam and Eve were stupid creatures who did not know the difference between good and evil, and a serpent that God made, he allowed to enter into the garden to tempt them. They were set up from the very beginning to fail.
Imagine if you didn't know right from wrong, and then or like two babies in like a baby crate together, and they don't know right from wrong, and I just throw a pocket knife in there open. Is it my fault that that one of the babies harmed the other baby with the pocket knife, or one of the babies harmed themselves with the pocket knife?
If you told them that that was a pocket knife, and
Do you think
that,
a what? Do you think a six?
Baby?
Do you think a 6-month-old knows better?
well, Adam and Eve were not 6 months old.
But they
didn't
didn't
know good and evil,
They didn't know good and evil. You're right.
So
so
they
they
don't.
don't know.
They don't know that it's
Well,
wrong to
God
disobey
gave
God.
them a choice.
But they don't. That doesn't matter, JD.
God
Doesn't
put
matter.
the
It doesn't
tree
matter, GD. It doesn't matter if God gave them a choice. They don't know that disobeying God is evil.
there. It wasn't evil.
You think
They didn't
okay?
do evil.
Wait.
They didn't do anything
You don't think disobeying God is evil,
No.
JD? I don't.
Disobeying God is a consequence.
No, that's not a consequence. It's an action.
so let me-
Actions
let me
have
put it in-
consequences.
Let me put it in her phrase. You put a pocket knife there and you don't tell them about it. That's evil.
No.
If you
Well,
give
that
them
would
a
be yes.
pocket knife
That
and
would
you
be
say
evil. But if I gave
Go ahead.
Dalton, your mic.
Oh,
If-
okay. I thought it was. Thank you.
if I put a pocket knife into a baby's crib and they were too stupid to know that it was wrong to
would
touch
be
it,
evil.
and then I allowed someone to walk into the crib and entice my children into touching the pocket knife and they cut themselves, the problem is not with my kids. The problem is with me. Yahweh is directly
Yes.
responsible for what happened to Adam and Eve in the garden. It's his fault.
He absolutely.
It's his
He
fault that
is
the world is in
responsible.
such.
He is responsible, and that's why he sent his son Jesus to
Oh, he sent his
for
son to
reconciliation.
he sent
He
his son
gave
to
his
clean up the
only
mess.
begotten
He
son.
sent his son to clean up the mess that he made. How great is he? Oh my God, he's
Dalton. Stop hitting the button.
Thank you, God, for cleaning my wounds. After you so viciously sliced me into pieces. Like who? Like that's not beautiful in the slice bit. If anyone else did this, you would call them a psychopath. JD, I feel like this conversation is not going to go anywhere. So thank you for coming up.
God's about as good as a designer as whoever designed that microphone for holding.
It's my fault. I'm moving around a lot.
It's not meant to be held, Dalton, like that.
I know. All right, we have here Miggy.
Hey, Jay.
Paddle cell. I can't put my my mic down. There's no thing to hold it besides my hand. Oh man, fuck. Okay, Mickey, I have 3 questions for you. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah.
Question number 2: are you a Bible believer?
Yes.
Question number 3: what are your pronouns?
He, I guess.
All right, I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Miggy, why should I?
Well,
Man, fuck.
do we get to talk about what you were doing to JD, or you want to keep that separate?
Let's have our own conversation because JD's conversation was going absolutely nowhere.
Okay. So the interesting thing about the Bible is, starting with the New Testament, is it's extremely hard to believe based off of not doing any research at all. But historical evidence proves that the Bible is reliable.
Oh, okay. Let's start with the nativity story, Mickey.
The nativity story.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
go with
part.
the nativity story. Let's go with how everybody dresses it up wrong, but it was actually done.
Yeah,
okay.
Miggy. I don't care about that. Miggy, question number 1:
cool.
was Jesus born under King Herod the Great?
I believe you.
Question number 2: was Jesus born during the census of Quirinius?
I'm not sure.
Well, Luke chapter 2 verses 1 tells us that Jesus was born during the time when Caesar Augustus was the emperor, and when Quirinius was doing his census, and he was the legate of Syria. So, should I believe that's true?
Sure.
Here's the problem. Herod died 10 years before Quirinius was the governor of Syria. Was Jesus born
Which
in
Herod?
Herod the Great?
So Herod the Great died, but not the other Herod, right? They were both named Herod, wasn't they?
Yeah, but Herod the Great is the Herod that's mentioned at the beginning of the Gospel of.
Dalton.
You're muted again, buddy.
Son of a bitch. Anyways, Herod the Great is the one that is wants to kill the infant Jesus in Matthew chapter 2. And he died in 4 BCE. And then 10 years later, Quirinius did his census, which is when Luke says he was born. So either Jesus crawled back up into his mother's vagina and was born at the second time, or the Gospels are not historically reliable.
So I have a question. Why ask to be respectful if you're not going to be respectful? I mean, isn't that what pronouns are about?
What the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, if you ask somebody for their pronouns to be respectful,
No, in what way have I been disrespectful to you?
you're being disrespectful to my Lord and Savior, which is being disrespectful.
I don't care about being disrespectful to dead rabbis. So let's not talk about the meta of the conversation. If you can't handle the fire, get out of the kitchen, my dude. Now, why should I believe the Gospels are historically accurate if they can't even agree as to when Jesus was born?
Okay. So why do I think they're historically accurate, or why shouldn't you think they're historically accurate?
Why should I think they're historically accurate when the evidence seems to suggest they aren't?
Okay. So did Jesus exist?
Sure, lots of people existed.
Well, since the you did those cute little plugged into its own self thing, I mean, you would say that outside of the Bible, he shouldn't exist because the Bible isn't real, right?
No, we have evidence outside the Bible for Jesus' existence.
Exactly. There you go.
Okay,
So,
do we
I
have
mean,
any
we
evidence
do
that
have
Jesus was
evidence for
born of a
Jesus.
virgin?
Yeah, we have Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Well,
Or actually, not
Mark and John
Mark.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, only Matthew and Luke tell about the virgin birth of Jesus, but they seem to disagree as to what decade he was born.
Mm-hmm. So, born of a virgin according to two gospels, right?
Yeah, and the two gospels can't agree on any of the factors regarding Jesus' birth.
But
So it sounds
the other two
so
the
if
other
the,
two gospels said he wasn't born of a virgin.
well,
Is that what you're saying?
well, the other gospels don't say anything about his birth. Also,
Okay, so it didn't contradict yourself.
it's pretty likely that the reason that we get this virgin birth myth in the first place is because the author of Matthew misread the book of the prophet Isaiah, because he makes the claim that Isaiah said the Messiah would be born of a virgin, but Isaiah never. Yeah, Isaiah 7:14, but Isaiah never actually said that.
Midgie, have you read the New Testament? Because the way that you're speaking, it doesn't seem like you have.
Well, no, I'm just trying to convince y'all. I'm not doing the whole driving down y'all's rabbit hole. So.
Wait, so you haven't read the entirety of the New Testament?
Oh, absolutely, several times. But it's why I believe the Bible is real, and that's what I'm trying to convince you off of, right?
Midgie, I didn't ask you why you think the Bible is, why you believe in the
Why
Bible.
you should believe it's real is based off of what I think, right?
Yeah, based on evidence.
So I have read a lot of the Greek pantheon, like some of the surviving scripts that we have from that time. Should I believe in the Greek gods? Because we got statues of Zeus. That's more than Jesus can say.
To Micaiah's point, we have the writings of Plutarch where he gives us the biography of Alexander the Great, and he tells us that Alexander was born from the god Zeus. Should we believe that?
Not to mention, the alleged founder of Rome is also born from Mars, the god Mars.
I have a question.
These are like, well, we
What do I
can't exactly
address you-
prove that.
What do I
the-
address the host by? My bad. I can't see the name.
Dalton. You call me Dalton.
Dalton. Okay, Dalton. So are you actually looking for proof to change your mind, or is this a clickbait?
If you have any proof, I would love to see it.
Absolutely. Well, Almighty Father, King of the universe.
Nope.
Oh my God.
If I wanted to fucking hear you cast a spell on me, I would have asked you. Jesus fucking Christ!
Almighty Father, are we Zeus? Wait, no, wait, Almighty, wait.
What a dumbass.
Wait, who's the Norse god who's like the All Father?
Odin.
Odin. Are we praying to Odin now?
Yeah. As by the way, he had to resort to start praying over me because he doesn't have evidence or his God. So there you go. We have cyber, probably not cyber deconstruction. Cyber. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. I ask all my guests these questions. Question number 1, are you at least 18?
Yeah.
Are you a Bible believer?
Yeah.
And what are your pronouns?
He, him.
All right.
I wanted to come up because I saw that you disagreed with the morality of the Bible. I just wanted to understand, like, what do you mean by evil?
Yeah. By evil, I mean extremely malicious behavior that's contrary to the well-being of individuals.
Okay. I mean, so are you going to be the dictator of who's going to be, like, what well-being is?
I think objectively we can know what is and isn't according to well-being. Like, for example, Zyber. Is it contrary to the well-being of someone to make someone eat battery acid?
Well, no, I don't believe that you're going to get an ought from an is.
No, you can just know. Like, you can, like, know evidentially that making someone eat battery acid is going to be contrary to their well-being. I'm just saying that the standard that we have here on this channel is well-being. That's my subjective standard, and I think it's better than your subjective standard.
Well, I don't think that when you're comparing subjective standards, there's a good or bad. They're just different.
Well, okay, my goal is to move forward with flourishing of human beings and with well-being.
Okay.
If you have a different standard, that's fine. I'm just going to say that's a shit standard, and most people would agree.
Well, look, let's say that I have a different standard, right? Right. Let's say the only way that you're actually going to be able to compare the two standards is if you leave your standard, right? Because if you're comparing two standards, you have to have some. Really?
Here's the question, Cyber. Which one of our worldviews is more conducive to the well-being of individuals?
I mean, if you think that they're both subjective, then you can't compare them. So
yes, you can. Yes, you can. Cyber.
Okay, what's the standard?
Well-being. Which one is more conducive to the well-being of individuals?
Yes. Okay, look, let me put it in a different sense.
You can interact with what I just said, or you can fuck off. So, which is more conducive to the well-being of individuals? Which one is more conducive to the well-being of individuals? Allowing for slavery or not allowing for slavery?
Look, if you're just going to keep muting me because you know I'm right, then you can just kick me, right?
No, you're keep muting you because you won't answer my question. So, which is more conducive to the well-being of my question is, which is more conducive to the well-being of individuals, slavery or not slavery?
Yeah, if they're both subjective, it wouldn't matter.
No, you can know objectively if something is conducive to the well-being of an individual.
Hold on. Are you going to let me explain why not, or
Cyber, I have not been. Do you know what constructivism is, Cyber? And this is a yes or no.
Yeah, yes, but if you're not going to let me explain why not, then
stop whining.
So you understand it. If you know what constructivism is, what Dalton is saying, and you know how this works out. We can use a teleological move. We can use a coherence method. We can use a ton of different ways to give examples on why and how to bridge this is-ought gap. Like, I don't know why you're using this argument if you know what constructivism is.
Well, yeah, you probably don't know why because I haven't had a chance to actually explain why it doesn't work. Does that make sense?
I just want you to answer my fucking question.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, I'll see you later. You're not gonna...
Okay, bye, crybaby. Can we get some runners in the comment section, everybody? Because Crybaby couldn't answer a fucking question. Yeah.
Yeah, you did exactly how you support constructivism is you list out an example and then give a premises on why we ought to act a certain way, and you kind of bridge that gap. They were being a Philbro and they didn't understand that this is like I think it's like a consensus or at least a high degree of meta-ethic philosophers use constructivism and they bridge this gap of is-ought fallacy by this type of argumentation.
Yeah,
they were just Philbroing.
All right, let's see. F this name thing. So F this. I have 3 questions for you. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Question number 2: are you a Bible believer?
Old Testament, not New.
All right. And question number 3: what are your pronouns?
Him.
All right. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Hebrew Bible. Why should I?
So can I address the last statement that was addressed? My question that I have for you is throughout the history of human history, excluding the Bible, right? Humans historically have been not in the category of prospering the human race, meaning that if you look at gladiators to wars that we have had, would you say the whole
Babylonians prospered the human race? They invented agriculture.
Sure, but you said in the statement was that God of the Old Testament liked to murder people, like to do all these bad things. I'm also stating is that if take the last 100 years away, the majority of people in the world have fought in wars, have died in wars for almost zero cause. Is that evil?
Yeah,
think
this also predates the. If we're talking about predating the Bible, then that's an entirely different set of gods.
I'm saying ignore God fallacy for a minute. How
but a
do we
majority
get?
of people
Yeah,
haven't fought
I'm
and
listening.
died in wars. That's just
No.
a nonsensical statement.
Okay, no, but I'm saying, but people have lots of people, right?
Many
have died.
people have.
Right. The point? Okay, so let me get to the point. The point that I'm trying to make is that our standard has risen very high in the last 100 years, when we value human life significantly more than we valued life before. Would you agree with that? And so the question that I have to you is, because of the statement that you had made, that you were asking the last gentleman who, I guess, cried and left, would that statement be the same statement you would have made if you lived, let's say, 500 years ago?
If I lived 500 years ago, I would be a product of my time and probably wouldn't think the same way I would now. But I don't live 500 years ago, and I have the
Correct.
I have the privilege of living in a society where we do like privilege like well-being of individuals over other things, which is why I can say that the standard of the Hebrew Bible is not good for the prospering of mankind.
Are you asking
Correct.
him if he's a moral relativist? Because he's not.
So then where do you get your moral values that you stated before?
Yeah, from the observation of what is and isn't according to the well-being of individuals.
A good
When I
way
s-
to also do this is, if I don't want this done to myself, why would I want it done to another person?
Or yeah, but really, what it is while it is still constructivism isn't stance independent, because without humans, the kind of definitions that we use to describe good and bad wouldn't exist. But there are objective truths when we agree upon what is good and what is bad, and that is objective. And that's what constructivism tries to outline: is that there are objective truths as long as we agree that good means that we're not going to harm each other, and that's furthering that goal. And then or just we're not going to like do harms to animals. You could even include that if you wanted. And then doing harms is furthering ourselves from the goal. So as long as we agree on that, that's still what makes it subjective. But it is objectively true that if I pew myself in the foot, it's harmful to myself.
Got it. So I want to make sure. So if God does not exist, objective morality and values and duties do not exist. Are you saying?
I would say personally that what it is that we are defining as morality, that's subjective. But once we can come to agreement about what we mean by the word morality, for example, for us it'd be well-being of individuals, then we can make objective statements about what is and isn't conducive to well-being, or in other words, what is and isn't moral/immoral. It's like chess. The rules of chess, we make those up. But once we come to an agreement on the rules of chess, we can make objective statements about which is and isn't a valid move in chess.
And morals themselves are, and hold on, just morals themselves are subjective, because morals are that internal person's view of morality, and morality is that system. It's the big thing. So those are like, I don't know why, and I understand too, because I had a hard time with this when I was learning. Like their terms mean something very specific.
But so real fast, I want to make sure I understood a concept. The concept that you said is that as a whole, as a society, we can agree on these objective truths, correct?
As long as what we mean by morality is like it's referring to well-being, then yeah, we can objectively know what is and isn't conducive to the well-being of individuals.
So the minute that infringes on the well-being of people, then it's not an objective truth. Even if something,
if something is infringing upon the well-being of an individual, then it's no longer conducive to the well-being and therefore immoral.
Well, no, it's not always immoral, because this is also going to confuse, because sometimes it's not just necessarily immoral, but it's permissible, because then we have like hierarchies of duties. So, for example, lying to save someone's life, would lying be wrong? Yes, technically, but it would be morally permissible in that moment.
Got it. And where do you believe that these values for yourself come down? Because the values that you guys are historically have seemed like Judeo-Christian values. And the other question I have is, based on what you're saying, I'm also hearing that, like, for example, the consensus in Nazi Germany was that Jews were bad and it was okay to exterminate them.
But was exterminating the Jews conducive or not conducive to the well-being of the Jews?
Not conducive.
Therefore immoral.
Correct,
If by morality we mean that which is conducive to the well-being of individuals. So even if a majority of people believing something, you can say objectively that something is not conducive to the well-being of an individual, and therefore, if by morality we mean a system pertaining to the well-being of individuals, then this action would be immoral.
Even if 100% of people all throughout human history agreed to something that harmed a group of people or a particular person, it would be immoral. Like, it doesn't matter what the population believes in.
Got it. Which then dictates that you have dictated what is moral and amoral, not the population. So,
yeah, all moral systems, including the moral systems of the Bible, are subjective. They're based on one mind or another.
Correct. And
the question is,
the
question is, what is our goal? Is our goal to obey God, or is our goal to the flourishment of mankind and upholding the well-being of peoples? If our goal is the former, then Judeo-Christianity, sure. But if our goal is the latter, which is well-being, then our subjective moral system is superior.
But if it is the case that you would disagree with God, then it would be the case that you don't adhere to this moral principle of God being the orbital oh my god you know what I'm saying of morals.
Sure. The question that I had, so you made a statement of the well-being of humans, and so as an Orthodox Jew, I do not believe our role in the world is to not only just worship God, it is also to do exactly that, to increase the happiness of the world, etc.
What do you do when the well-being of individuals runs contrary to a command of God?
Can you give me an example?
Slavery.
Slavery cannot be practiced today according to Jewish law. So you could ask a secondary question.
But if the Mashiach returned today and reinstituted the monarchy of Israel, and where Torah was the law of the land, would slavery be conducive to the well-being of the people being owned as slaves?
So historically in the Torah, it talks about slavery as being a mechanism for people to pay off debts that can only serve no more than a 7-year term.
That only applies to Hebrews.
Correct.
What about non-Hebrew slaves? Like, for example, the Torah says in the book of Vayikra, Leviticus, chapter 25, that you can go out and get slaves from among the nations, and you can pass them on as an inheritance to your children.
Mention the loophole, even for Hebrew slaves, if they marry another slave who you own for life, then they can either leave without their wife or stay a slave forever.
Yeah, so you're saying what's the morality there, and is that conducive to the well-being of humans? Is that what
It's slavery in general, even if you want to call it and dress it up as indentured servitude, which it was not. Is it conducive?
I would say, depending on I'm going to be very honest. I think anybody that has a corporate job is a slave in America, to be honest.
But we're not though. My boss doesn't own me as property.
Dalton has the right to quit his job and leave the state if he wanted to. I can do that at my corporate job as well. Slaves or indentured servitudes could not. They could be hunted down and unalived.
The Torah says that they can go and they can unalive them.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. If the Torah gives that permission,
sure. I'm going off of historical too, and a lot of the times when slaves run away, they are just
in Leviticus 19. It definitely says, "When a foreigner resides among you in the land, do not mistreat them."
Right, but what if they're your slave? That regards to just free men who live among you. You are allowed to beat your slave so long as they don't die in 2 or 3 days, right?
Why would this not apply? Because the next line literally says, "Love them as yourself."
Exodus chapter 21, verses 20-21. When a man owns a slave and beats his slave, if the slave dies immediately, he shall be punished. However, if the slave survives a day or two, he shall not be punished, for the slave is his property.
I can't
This
comment
doesn't
on that.
even this doesn't even count like how the Hebrew Bible looks at women as property, and sex slavery and all of that. Like you're just like dismissing a ton of.
I'm not. I don't think I'm dismissing. What I'm saying is that you're under the condition that if Mashiach comes today and these rules reappear and reapply, would those same rules reapply and be the law of the land today? And I'm saying they cannot be applied today
Why?
because the mechanism in which the Beis HaMikdash doesn't exist, and so they cannot.
Oh no, what
they don't-
he'll rebuild it though. And doesn't the prophet Isaiah say in the last days that the Israelites will take for themselves slaves from among the nations?
Yeah, but there's also mechanisms for slaves to become free inside it. I'm not advocating slavery. I want to be very clear.
only if they're Hebrews. Only if they're Hebrews, not for the nations.
You're not advocating for it, I don't think, but you're definitely trying to justify something that I think
Right.
that you
I mean, I
know.
think that in any book you're going to have and even in morality, you're going to have things that we cannot justify.
You said
right?
you were Orthodox Jewish, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Orthodox Judaism still allows for child marriage.
I do not know where and what sect.
Because a woman, what age is a woman considered to be a woman?
Okay, so I think that there's a difference between somebody is an adult, but legally being able
No,
to get married.
legally in Israel, there are groups in Israel who have married off children.
Yes, and we're talking fringe groups. I can't speak on
A fringe
behalf
group
of
who has a
every-
very big control, who has a very big presence in Israel because
And
they're
what group is
Orthodox.
that? No. You can't-
Well,
you can't
Orthodoxy.
lump all Orthodoxy.
To be fair to FDS, Orthodoxy is not a monolith. There are many different Orthodox sects, and they all have different oral traditions, separate from what's written in the Torah.
Yeah, I
But under
myself,
Torah,
I do-
because they're going based off of the Torah, and at 13 is a woman
Well-
in Judaism.
Well,
so
no,
they
that's
marry
not-
off people
That's
fairly
actually
young.
that's not the Torah. That's like, it's called the oral Torah, also known as the Mishnah in the Talmud. And then you have even further extra oral traditions from particular like sects. So that actually the Torah doesn't give a declaration as to what age.
Sorry, I'm going.
A woman
I was going off
becomes
of what I've learned. So
Oh yeah,
I
no,
couldn't
that's
remember where it came from. I was like, I know it's somewhere.
yeah, that's post biblical, extra biblical, rabbinical statements, and that's even for particular sects and groups from different. Because you have, like, for example, you have Lubavitcher, and you have all these different kinds of Orthodox Jews. So, and the Hebrew Bible doesn't give us an age for when a woman is considered a woman, but
Technically, it's a time after her first period.
But
And
the Hebrew
Torah, I
Bible
do agree with that
does,
one.
but the Hebrew Bible does tell us that they are property.
I mean, I can't respond to that. I mean, I think if it says that, then that's what it says. You know, I mean,
See,
It does.
whether that's right or wrong.
It's very clear too. I mean, look at Exodus 20:17 is a really good example of this because it lists women under ox, donkey's house, male and female slave, and anything that belongs to him. I mean, it's very, very clear.
I completely agree with you. I can't speak on behalf of that because if it says it, it's true.
Yeah, and that's an issue. I think that even if I can't find all objective morals in the sense of comparing and contrasting what is going to do or lead us to the goal of harm reduction, it's still better than a book that allows for owning people. I think that my ability to discern and just talk to people, hey, is this harming you, is much better than an ancient text.
Yeah, I mean, but like you said it listed it in property, but there is instances in the Torah as well where women can actually own property as well. So doesn't that have I guess we could say that's a contradiction of what's happening.
No, that's not a contradiction. You could so slaves during the times of antebellum, I believe, could technically were allowed and had permission to possess things. And one of the ways of possession that you could describe possession as ownership. So No, I don't think that that's a contradiction. I think those aren't mutually exclusive terms.
No, okay, fine. I was saying that the Bible had the contradiction, but
Yeah, and I would say that I don't think that that's a
I
contradiction in
know,
the Bible.
I agree. This was really fun. I'd love to come on again. I think there's some things I need to research before I talk to you guys again, though.
Absolutely. I always enjoy having Jewish guests on our shows because generally they're a lot nicer than our Christian guests.
Yeah, honestly, Judaism, because
All right. Well, you have a good day.
Thank
Shalom.
You too. Thank you. Shalom alaikum.
All right. Let's see. We got MT. My arm is killing me. I'm going to switch arms real quick. Oh my gosh.
I'm surprised you didn't like think of a contraption to hold that up. Like you couldn't have got creative.
No.
Great, we need to
MT.
get you a mic stand.
Oh yeah, I got one ordered. It'll be coming on Saturday. So the next time.
From?
Say what?
Where'd you order from? That's such a big delay.
Amazon.
Oh yeah, you do live out in the middle of nowhere.
I do. Yeah, I do live in the ass end of nowhere. Well, JD wants to come back up,
Oh no.
but I guess they're not there.
Oh yeah. And I'm pretty sure where you live, Amazon doesn't directly deliver to there, so they have to hand it off to USPS or USPS or UPS.
Maybe. Actually, I do see UPS trucks around here often, so that does
Probably.
make sense.
Amazon, there are certain areas Amazon won't go to if it's too rural.
Let's see what we got here. Someone said, "Please don't bring JD up." I'm surprised that my mic has lasted as long as it has, or that rather my battery is lasting as long as it has. I'm only at 61% on my battery, which is great because we're only going to be live for another 39 minutes until 5 o'clock when I got to go walk my dogs. All right, let's see. What do the comments say? Everyone, make sure to tap that screen, share the live with those you love, with those you hate, with your friends, and with your enemies. Let's get the word out so we can have some interesting conversations. Next time I go live, excluding tomorrow when I go live on Justin's live, I'm going to have, on Saturday, I'm going to have the boom mic, and I'm going to have a system where I can charge my phone and keep this microphone plugged into my phone at the same time. I know, technology is crazy.
Someone said, "Can someone join so they can prove this guy wrong?" Yeah, I know. He's kind of a know-it-all. I wish someone would join and prove him wrong too.
Me too. What a fucking know-it-all. Oh, yeah, MT. MT, I got 3 questions to ask you. I ask all my guests these 3 questions. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah, I'm 28.
All right, question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
I am not, actually. I was hoping to join your side.
Ah, okay. Well, I mean, I don't really have any opposition right now. So is there anything you'd like to, like, at least to talk about? Because,
yeah, I mean, I appreciate everything you're doing. Thing is, I just want to share for the people that are the Bible believers in here. I want to share my experience and what has driven me away, and then I'd be happy to hear what they have to say. First of all, some background about me. I grew up Catholic church. I was an altar boy at one point. Sunday school, church. I grew up basically around church, and my mom went to non-denominational church as well, right? So I've been around the block a little bit. Here is the issue that, like, there's a lot of issues that push me away from the church, and I would love to hear the other side, but one of them being, every time it comes to proof about any of this stuff, it's always go back to the Bible, right? But it says in the Bible, but it says in the Bible, but it says in the Bible. Right. Like, it's like every single thing. Okay, yeah, the scholars might agree that Jesus existed. Outside of that, is there anything else that you have that I should point to this man as being a god or the God? Anything else? Why is like a big thing for me is, and I'm sure you've heard this all the time, it's just like everything has happened in the past. Why are all these crazy miracles happen 2,000 years ago?
oh yeah,
Why
we
go ahead.
got God creating the world in the beginning. Then we have him splitting the Red Sea, and then we have him walking on water. It seems like the miracles become less and less fantastic the more we move forward throughout history, until the point where God is just helping people find their lost keys.
I'll go ahead and put myself on screen too. So yeah, exactly. So another thing is, as soon as you try to start an argument with, or like bring the stuff up with a Christian, most of the time it's Christians, it's like their first resort is it just talks about the creation of the universe, right? That's where a lot of these arguments start from to begin with. But that is not what the majority of the Bible even entails to begin with. What about all this stuff all this other stuff in the Bible? Why is everything, when it comes to if God exists or not, or if this source material is true or not, the only argument or topic that we always begin with is the creation of the universe? That's something I'm always curious about. Maybe you have an answer for that. Why is all of these other miracles that have been performed, we disregard those to always begin our conversation with the creation of the universe?
Yeah, I mean, the problem in the bigger problem being that the creation that we don't even have evidence that there was a creation of the universe. As far as I'm concerned, at least, the universe has always existed in one form or another. So they can't really demonstrate that the universe came into being from nothing, let alone that it came into being from nothing 6,000 years ago in 6 days. One second, it looks like. It looks like I have actually someone in the comment in my box waiting to come up, MT. But hey, thank you for coming up, and I definitely sympathize with your background. I have actually was Protestant, and I was Catholic at one point, and I've also practiced Judaism as a Noahide. So I've also been around the block quite a bit, spiritually speaking. But thank you for coming up.
Thank you.
All right, we got here Boost Only. Boost Only, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask all my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, sir.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
I do.
And then question number 3, what are your pronouns?
He.
All right, I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Boost, why should I believe in the Bible? Also, you have a lot of background noise. What the heck is going on?
Well, I don't know about any background noise. I'm sorry about that. Can you still hear me, though?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, my bad. Anyways, so I was going to bring up the Bible. I've been reading a lot of it lately.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've stumbled onto something that doesn't necessarily make reading the Bible like believing it required to understand what it means, if you know what I mean.
Are you going to propose that there's a secret esoteric meaning to the Bible?
No. So the Bible, a lot of Christians like to describe it as the one and only truth, correct?
A lot of Christians do. Fundamentalist Christians do.
Right, because I don't necessarily consider myself a religious expert or a churchgoer. I don't believe in denominations or anything like that. But I do believe that God is everything and we are within Him. But the problem is we don't have access to Him.
Wait, God is everything,
Bible
but we don't have
is-
access to Him?
Right.
But I have access to a lot of things.
Because in the beginning of the Bible, it does say that God said that we have become like Him.
Well, we have become like the gods, knowing good and evil.
Right. Which I don't know if that was the Trinity or if he was speaking of other gods, but
Other
we have
gods.
become our own form of God.
Well, humans
So
definitely...
we are no longer within God.
We were never within God. The Book of Genesis never says any such thing as us being within God.
Well, before the original sin, the knowledge of good and evil, we would walk with God.
We didn't have the knowledge of good and evil prior to the original sin. And also, people walked with God
We could be compared to dogs.
People also walked with God after the Adam and Eve story. I mean, we read in Genesis chapter 5 that Enoch walked with God, and he was 365 years old when God took him.
Right, few and far between. which is what humanity is to strive for. That is the whole point.
But why should I believe this?
Yeah.
So I can't prove any of that to you, but all I can tell you is to actually read and attempt to understand that God is a frequency that can only be accessed by reading the Bible.
God is not a frequency.
Can you define the word frequency for us?
Just like a radio. God would be a two-way radio operator. Say he is on a frequency that none of us are on.
Radio waves only work on a flat surface,
Okay.
not down like that. So.
First of all, I'm not trying to be scientific. I'm trying to be
Well, that's what
generic.
we're doing. If you're talking about frequencies, a radio
Right, so
is a flat frequency.
A frequency. I don't care if it's flat.
I would just
saying,
I would just avoid using words like
98.1 is
I would just
different than
I would just avoid using
107.2.
I would just avoid using words like frequency at all, because it gets you into new age territory, and it's not a biblical concept, and if you're going to use words that have real meaning in the real world, we're going to need to match that meaning.
Right. Okay. So reading the Bible helps you to understand who God is.
I've read the Bible, and
Yeah,
the Bible,
The only way
the Bible is not.
The only way to understand God is through the Bible.
So
Dalton, you've read
I've
the Old Testament, right?
I've read the
So-
entirety of the Bible, and the Bible is not consistent on who God is.
Yeah,
I was about to say, like, if we just talk about the Old Testament, Dalton, is God not a genocidal maniac, murderer, all the above?
Yes.
Literally told
Is this
people
in
to
reference
bash
to
children's
seven
heads over with stones.
That's what the psalmist wants. Boost, have you read the Bible?
I am reading, yes.
So the Bible, here's something you need to remember. The Bible is made up of a number of different books. Depending on what version of the Bible you're reading, it's going to be anywhere between 66 to 84 different books. Each book has its own author. Each author brings to the table their own ideas about who God is. And sometimes those ideas don't always agree with one another. For example, the author of certain sections of the book of Numbers, chapter 23, verse 19, says that the Lord is not a man that he should change his mind. And yet, in the book of Exodus, we read that God does change his mind. When the children of Israel worshipped the golden calf, God was going to wipe them out. And then Moses begged for their lives, and it said that, and the Lord changed his mind concerning the evil he was going to do to them. The Bible is not consistent on what God is like.
Well, except that he's a misogynist. That's consistent.
That is pretty consistent.
Well, we can't necessarily talk about New Age now, can we? So
Misogynist who really does not like the Canaanites.
Did you say we can't talk about New Age?
right.
Yeah, because it's completely
So we
and
cannot
utter.
we cannot put a New Age theology on what happened more towards the first quarter of the Earth's beginning.
I
Right.
agree, but that's still God, and he's still.
There you
horrible.
go. So now, when we're talking about a world that maybe has 1/100th of the population, right?
I don't know where you're getting
And
that.
you
number.
have texts that are.
Wait,
that are-
how old do you
I
think the
don't-
Earth
I'm not-
is?
I don't. Huh?
How old do you think the Earth is?
I have no idea. I never did the math.
It's 4.5 billion years old, and humans have only
Yeah,
been
is
around
it-
for
I
200,000
don't
years.
really care how. I don't really care
300.
how old the Earth is. I don't think that. I think that's a menial task when we talk about God. Because discovering
What
God
you're
is
talking,
not,
what
is
the
not
talking points you're
discovering how
currently
old the
giving
Earth
me
is.
though are people who believe in a flat Earth. Those are the talking
I
points
don't
you're
believe in
giving
a
right
flat
now.
Earth.
But the Bible does believe in a flat Earth.
Bible, anybody can believe whatever they want. The point of finding God is finding God. You know?
I didn't ask about finding God necessarily, Boost. I'm asking, why should I believe in the Bible? The Bible doesn't seem to be able to convey any scientific truth. It doesn't contain very much in the way of historical truth, and it contains a lot of internal contradictions. Why should I believe in this book? Mind you,
Hold on, looks like I have something going on right now.
yeah, mind you, I only care about things which are true. Ooh. Where'd he go?
Yeah.
I think he got pulled over.
I don't know that they've read it because when you open Genesis, he would understand that it's a flat earth theory and God said, let there be a dome in the midst of the water and let it separate the waters from the water. So God made the dome and separated the waters under the dome from the waters that were above the dome.
Yeah. We have here what is this? Gentian. I'm just going to call you Gentian.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Hi, Gentian. I have 3 questions for you. Question number 1, are you at least 18?
Yes, sir.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
I've read the Bible. There is things may consider there is a lot of contradictions in between.
But do you believe the Bible is true?
There is some points that I consider them as kind of a reference, like for moving on.
Are you a Christian?
Well, somehow, let's say.
Look, I'm only interested in talking to people who actually believe in the Bible, like who believe the Bible is true.
Well, basically, my point of view, it was supposed to be the book of the truth, but there is a lot of contradictions in between facts in there, which
do you think the
which
Bible
are just assuming things being real without any kind of.
Okay. Do you think the Bible is true? This isn't open mic time for you to tell us what you think. We're trying to have a discussion in relation to why Dalton or myself or Micaiah should believe in the Bible. So, do you believe that the Bible is true? Yes or no? You can unmute.
Hello?
Did you
Hi.
understand? Did you hear what Ashlyn just said to you?
Not actually, but something happened.
Do you believe that the Bible is true? Yes or no?
Well,
Yes or no?
I cannot say either like yes or no, like definitely, you know.
Well. Oh, you beat me to it. All right, I'm going to bring up Bible Baby. And just so everyone
How's
knows,
it going?
Bible Baby is not my offspring. Just making it very clear.
Lie.
Hello-
Don't lie,
hello-
Dalton.
Hello, Bible Baby. I need to ask you 3 questions. Are you at least 18 years old?
37. Oh, you
Okay.
didn't answer me that. So right away, I'm not answering the questions right. Okay, yes, I am. I am.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
I believe you have to find the gold in the Bible. So I don't believe it's the inerrant word of God, but I do think it's partially true is my answer. It's kind of like the last guy.
All right. Well, what are your pronouns?
He, him.
All right. Here's a 4th question, just for fun, though. If you had a plate full of shit and they had some corn in it, would you dig out the corn and eat the corn?
I understand the analogy, but of course not. But that's not the same thing. Okay, like if there's no analogy that can really do it justice. But I do think it's not logical to say that the Bible is either entirely true or entirely false. That's intellectual.
Oh yeah,
That's being intellectually lazy.
I don't hold that. I don't hold that it's entirely false. I just think it's like anything that you can get out of the Bible that's good. You can probably find some other sources, and the things which are unique to the Bible aren't really all that good.
Well, I mean, that's your opinion, but we do have the accounts of Jesus's life, which are precious in my opinion. So
we have the stories of Jesus' life. They're not necessarily like counts of his life, because we don't know that these are actual, real, true stories about Jesus.
But it is interesting that they spent all the money. For example, someone commissioned Luke to go gather the information. Someone paid a lot of money. They thought it was
don't know that they
important
paid
enough
money.
to preserve
You don't-
at least.
Well,
You know,
First things first, we don't know who wrote the Gospel of Luke. Luke and Acts, and as well as the rest of the Gospels, are anonymous works, and we don't know if the person who wanted Luke to write the Gospel of Luke paid them. The author just makes the claim that they went out and gathered eyewitness accounts, but they never named their witnesses. It's not really all that reliable of a text.
you're right. Maybe he wasn't actually paid, but he was commissioned. Would you agree with that? He was commissioned by the governor or whatever that was, a king,
Theophilus?
someone important. Yeah.
Well, he says that the author says that he's writing this for an individual named Theophilus. Whether or not Theophilus commissioned him or not, I don't think we can know from reading the text.
Sure, but
Yeah, here, I'll pull it up. Since I may have undertaken to compile a narrative. So he says, since many have undertaken to compile a narrative about the events that have been fulfilled among us, just as they were handed on to us by those who from the beginning were eyewitnesses and servants to the word, I too decided, as having a grasp on everything from the start, to write a well-ordered account for you, most excellent Theophilus. It sounds like he's just doing it.
Yeah, it sounds like whoever Theophilus says didn't commission him, more like the author of Luke is taking it upon himself to write this work for Theophilus for whatever reason.
Just to shift it a little bit, I do agree that they weren't written by Matthew, but first off, just to tell chat what I actually believe before, God forbid something happens. I believe that the Urantia book is the truth. That's where I landed. But I want the Urantia book.
What is the Urantia book?
So it came out 100 years ago. All right.
Ooh.
And it claims to be, if you type it in, it'll say unknown author. We don't know exactly how it came about, but it was claims to be written by.
When's it dated to?
I'm saying it was claims to be written by these celestial beings. It's dated till the 1920s.
No, it was first published in the 1955, according to urantiabook.com or .org.
Right. It was published in the 50s, but they got the revelation supposedly in the 20s and sat on it for a while.
So, I mean, this doesn't. I don't really care about the Urantia book. It's not the Bible.
I know. I didn't want to go off on that. I just wanted to toss that out there to say that, hey, this is where I landed. But I think it's really. It doesn't take a lot of talent to.
Here, one second. Bible baby. 1 second. Ashland's saying something.
I apologize.
Do you give them money, or do they require this?
No, it's not a cult or anything. It's just a book that finds people at certain times that need it. But it's not like the cult. It actually tells us not to start a cult in there. They don't want another church, and the church is like a spiritual menace.
Making sure that there's not thought control, there's no emotion control, there's no fight model type of stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. But if I could just get this word out, so I think it doesn't take a lot of talent to go against these Christians, and that's kind of why you vet people. You want them to be Christian, you want them to believe the Bible is the Word of God. Because you're going to run them all over. You're going to humiliate them. Because if they're not going to tell the truth about it, well, they're going to lose. It's a losing battle, and it's not good for you Christians to come up
even if they truthfully relate to me what the Bible says, which I would hope that they do, that's not going to help them at all because the Bible is quite indefensible.
You mean on a moral level?
Yeah, a moral level, historical level, scientific level. Yeah. The Bible's pretty shite.
Wait.
It's not great. It's not. I mean,
it was anonymous as well. There's no verifiable witnesses.
That adds to the story, though, that it was dictated by celestial beings, which is it's making an. Sorry.
No, I know.
Sorry, now you guys know I have an Android and I'm poor.
A celestial being would the author would still
Over 15% of the book's content, especially in cosmology, geology, history, was copied and paraphrased from 19th and early 20th century works, including A History of Astronomy by Agnes Clerk, Human Personality, Its Survival of Body and Death by Frederick Myers, The Life of Reason by George Santana, and The Outline of Science by Arthur Thompson. Like 15% of this work isn't even original.
Yeah, and it tells you from the beginning. It says it gathers the best human sources that it can. It quotes the Bible a few times too, and then adds in Revelation when they need to. They found the best human because because truth is truth. Can I finish a sentence?
It reflects 20th century astronomy as well. Like
You don't mind if I finish this sentence? So
No,
so
Ashlyn's got
interesting that-
no. Ashlyn's got a good point here. I mean, its model of the solar system formation is closer to the Chamberlain-Moulton planetesimal hypothesis, which is no longer accepted as valid.
Okay, so here's the thing. You guys just found out about this book literally 90 seconds ago, and you're like,
I mean,
you're
it's
dictating to the chat.
It's a
like
19th century. It's a
You don't have
19th.
clue
It's
what
a
you're
it's a 19th century bullshit book. Like I don't believe in the Bible.
just-
Why the fuck would I
So
believe in
90
this
seconds
book?
Ago, you don't know anything about it. but
Yes,
you're just repeating what
celestial
pulled
being
up on the internet.
because celestial beings don't exist.
You haven't done any research into it.
I'm
This is the
pulling
internet.
this.
Disprove.
I'm pulling this from Segan, the Demon Haunted World, Science is a Cannon in the Dark. I have sources for where I'm pulling this from. Sherman M. 2002, Why People Believe Weird Things, Pseudocide and Superstition.
Hey, chat, check that out. Thank you for letting me share about the book. That's why I came up. Thank you.
No,
Now
that's
the chat
no.
knows.
That's
Thank you.
exactly why we're interrupting you, because this isn't the place for that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you. You're not
Wait,
coming up here to shell for some bullshit book.
It's virtually Scientology.
Yeah, here I'm just gonna. Here, one second.
I didn't get the book.
Yeah, crazy. Anyways, we have here Disciple Derek. I think we've spoken to Disciple Derek before, but just so I can get a reminder, Derek, are you at least 18 years old? Are you a Bible believer? And what are your pronouns?
Yep. And he saves. That's my pronouns.
One of those was a pronoun.
They're both, but regardless.
No.
Saves
No, what
is
are
a
your,
verb.
saves is a
Saves is a
verb.
verb, not a pronoun.
So, what are your pronouns?
That's how I'm.
No, nope. We're not moving. We're not
Saves,
moving.
saves is a verb. That's not a pronoun.
We're not moving forward until you answer this question properly. So, what are your pronouns?
You almost had it. You did say one pronoun, and then you said a verb. There we go.
There you go.
Saves.
Nope. All right. Listen, I'm going to give you one more chance because if you can't fucking answer a question honestly, and if you don't know the difference between a verb and a pronoun, I don't understand how we're going to be able to have a conversation. It just shows me everything I need to know about you. So I'll ask you one last time, and if you can't answer it, I'll just drop you. Derek, what are your pronouns? You can unmute yourself now.
For respect to the panel, he, him.
There you go. And also because to the respect of the English language. Derek, I'm Dalton the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I?
Prophecy fulfillment.
All right, let's start with one. What's one Bible prophecy that's been fulfilled?
Revelation 13, verse 3.
So Revelation chapter 13, verse 3, which is about the Roman Empire?
It's not about the Roman Empire. It's about
Sure
the
it is.
Antichrist.
I don't
You want to
I don't remember seeing the word antichrist in the book of Revelation chapter 13. It does describe a seven-headed beast with the mouth of a lion, with the body of a bear and the feet of a leopard. And it also describes the mark of the beast, which is 666, which correlates to Nero's name, which is why in some manuscripts, in Latin manuscripts, it's 616, which corresponds to the other variation of Nero's name.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you agree that there's connection to a single individual, correct?
Yeah, to the
'cause
Roman
they were
Empire.
writing about.
Awesome. Yeah, because
he was a really bad person.
Yeah, no, for sure, right? He filled the typology and actually fulfilled the biblical prophecy of 1 John chapter 2, verse 18, which
God.
references many antichrist.
Wait.
Yeah,
Dal-
the Antichrist
Dalton?
is supposed to be a spirit, not a singular man.
Well, it,
Yeah.
it, it goes and it's
Prophecy
embodied in a
accurate?
single individual, the Antichrist, that's defined in
But
First John chapter 2,
disciple
verse 18.
Derek,
It's
the
outlined.
book of Revelation fails because it says that these are things which must shortly come to pass. Jesus didn't
Mhm.
return and establish his 1,000-year reign 2,000 years ago.
No, yeah, he's about to.
No,
The
it says
Antichrist right now is in power.
No. It
Yeah.
says these are about things which must shortly come to pass. That didn't shortly come to pass.
No, well, that would be subjective. That's a subjective
No,
interpretation of the term
2,000
shortly. Yeah.
Yeah, 2,000 years is not shortly in anyone's estimation.
It is
This
in
just
God's
a
time.
Okay, this isn't God.
That's a biblical fact.
Okay, no.
A
No, it's
day,
not,
a day.
it's not
yeah,
a
1,000
fact.
years is like a day.
It's not a fact. You're pulling from the Psalms. Now, again, the angel tells John to tell his audience, these are things which must shortly come to pass. In other words,
Yep.
he is speaking to a human audience. He is going to use words that are meant to
in what
convey
lens?
words which are meant to convey meaning to a human audience. What meaning would the phrase "shortly come to pass" have for a human audience?
Well, it depends on when the end times actually start.
According to
know
the
that?
book of Hebrews, it happened. The end times began with Jesus.
Okay, so at the life, death, and resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, that was the beginning of the end times. So
Yeah,
we're still
and
in the end times. Yeah.
well,
So
no, yeah, the end times have been going on for
when
2,000 years.
Well, except here's the thing: the Antichrist is actually on Earth, and again, because
There
of
is-
biblical
no.
prophecy fulfilment, we can go.
No,
Okay,
so
from
the book
from it.
Through
the
a
book-
brief skimming
okay.
of your page, you sound like you
not-
you think Trump is the Antichrist, and on top of that, you think it from your
Antichrist, and
Trump is an idiot. He's not the Antichrist. Now listen, my dude. Stop fucking Derek, stop fucking talking over me. The book of Revelation says these are about things which must shortly come. Why should I believe the book of Revelation is true when Jesus wasn't even the Messiah?
Jesus is the Messiah.
No, he failed to fulfill the three biggest prophecies he needed.
No, he didn't.
He did not
okay.
reestablish the third
Derek,
No, he didn't, because
Derek,
there's
Derek,
restrictions.
Derek,
Also,
Derek,
red herring.
Derek,
Red
Derek,
herring.
Did Jesus fulfill even one prophecy about the Messiah? Did Jesus even fulfill one prophecy about the Messiah? I'm going to drop you if you cannot interact with me.
Also, that's not a red herring.
Oh,
Okay, so my question for you is, did Jesus fulfill even one messianic prophecy?
Okay, can I respond now? Without being
If
interrupted or muted?
as long as you respond to the question I just asked you.
No, because that question's a red herring to the original.
Did Jesus fulfill one messianic prophecy?
That was-
Because if he
no,
wasn't,
that was the original question,
yeah,
Derek. Literally, the
Yeah,
first
it's a red
question.
herring.
No, the first he asked you, and what if did Jesus fulfill any messianic prophecy? And your answer was in Revelation, and that was the original question. So you just answered wrong.
Oh, it wasn't. That wasn't the original question. The statement
Revelation,
was,
Revelation,
Jesus is the Antichrist, and you guys ran over him.
Revelation can't even be true if Jesus wasn't the Messiah.
Red herring.
Okay, bye, Derek. If you want, no, he said fulfillment of prophecy. Then he points to Revelation. I told him that listen, Revelation doesn't even. It says it quite literally says for anyone who has eyes and a brain to read, the book of Revelation says that these are things which must shortly come to pass. For Derek, words don't mean words. So when the Bible says shortly come to pass, it doesn't really mean shortly come to
2,000 years in the
pass.
future.
Yeah,
Eventually.
if words can just mean fuck it anything, then they don't mean anything. But the book of Revelation doesn't even count if Jesus wasn't the Messiah, which he wasn't willing to defend because he would have got
by the
fucking
way,
cooked on it.
For Derek, a red herring is information that is purposely misled or wrong, which we didn't do. We asked a question.
All right, we're gonna go with one last guess for the day before I have to end the live. We got Ashley Heckman. Ashley, I'm going to ask you the same three questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number one: are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, sir.
Question number two: are you a Bible believer?
I'm not. I know that's going to mess your thing up, but I appreciate what you're doing. I don't prescribe to any of that. What do you want to call it?
Oh,
Superstition.
well,
But
W to Ashley.
that's my name. It's weird, I know. But what I was going to ask you is, have you ever heard this like thing where people like you could translate something like I don't know, like look for me and something. I guess and like the Adam and Eve story could be like about when we were hunter gatherers.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I just read the Bible plainly for what it says, and I don't really
Yeah,
care for.
I don't subscribe to it either. I just
Yeah,
if there's any historicness to it, maybe it correlates with something else. I don't know.
yeah,
But I
it's
appreciate
it's
what you're doing. I'll get off here so you can get somebody else.
They weren't. It wouldn't have been hunter gatherers either, because it's when it says that Adam tills the land.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's like it goes back to that time or anything. I'm just saying like maybe it's telling like when we were hunter gatherers, we had no reason for like warfare or anything like that.
Oh
You know what
yeah,
I'm
I
saying?
mean, I would put for anyone who would say that, I would just point to them that Adam, at least prior to the fall, never hunts anything. So like he can't really be a hunter.
Oh
At
yeah,
best,
that's true.
at best he just cultivates the land.
Yeah, I was
And
raised with this bullshit. Like I'd go to
Yeah,
Catholic school until I was
they didn't
in high
eat
school and
meat,
shit.
right?
yeah,
It wasn't until later that they were able to even. It was first.
Disciple Derek is still Disciple Derek is still bitching in the comment section because he can't answer
I can
questions.
get off. I can get off here then. Let you do somebody else because
No,
I know
you're
this
good.
isn't what you're trying to do. I just.
Oh no, I mean we're pretty much at the end of the show anyways.
Yes,
Yes,
okay.
Derek. Yes, Derek, you absolutely were running from the question I asked. So and also words don't mean words for you, and it wasn't a red herring. You dumbass.
See, I googled it for you. False information that seems important, but it's to distract you.
Yeah. Anyways, and I already answered, and I answered the problem. The Book of Revelation was, you can keep saying red herring all day. I don't give a fuck, Derek. It wasn't. Anyways, so that was embarrassing for Derek, everyone. But everyone, thank you for tapping on the screen and for sharing the live. Make sure to go to the Bible Guy YouTube channel and subscribe to watch this live back and any live you want to. Derek, that was a blue herring because you gave me blue balls from not answering the question. But make sure you subscribe. You are following Micaiah and Ashland and me, of course. Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you for, and I guarantee you by the next time we go live on the Bible God channel, I'll have an actual boom mic, and it'll just be better. But thank you all, and I've been the Bible Guy. Remember to keep reading.